And to kick things off, right off the bat, the opener here in New York, Munnings Express on quite a roll, has won half of her 8 career starts, but that last start in particular, she just moved to a new level.
Well, I mean, you look at her, she's sort of been gradually improving and getting back to those good races she ran her second career start. But then her last race, as you say, was an incredibly impressive victory. And you add the fact that there's a kind of dearth of speed in this race, and it feels like she's in a position where she could lead these on a merry chase. Fastest horse, controlling speed, going to be a tough combination to run down.
For Linda Rice, Jose Lezcano will be aboard. That is the first race on the card here in New York. Again, about 9 minutes away from kicking things off. Immediately though, this third at Laurel. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. They're fast and firm at Laurel. $20,000 claiming group. This one for fillies and mares 3 and up. And the 3-2 favorite here, Sugar Bee, who is making her 5-year-old return.
Well, this is a race that was dramatically changed when the number 7 Bahamian Moon came out. Not only was she the overwhelmingly likeliest winner of this race, but she was also the controlling speed, and I think that changes things a lot. Now, whether or not that's going to affect Sugar Bee, and I would worry with a horse like Sugar Bee, who's 8-5, her lack of speed, in my opinion, coming off a 7-month layoff is a little bit problematic. I can understand why people think she can win this race, but I'll be honest with you, her lack of speed bothers me. A horse like the 1, I don't really know if she's a turf horse. She doesn't have any pedigree. But even the 5 Tap It Up, they don't look quite good enough. But tactically, they may have a real advantage. I guess if you put a gun to my head, I would take the number 8 in this race, Casa Juanita. Why has she not been on the turf for so long? Her turf sprint races, to me, are as good as anybody's in here. Why is she 8-1?
As good as anybody's, but also she's so much better on the turf. Yeah, why has it been so long for her? 9-1 from the outside. I'm with you. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think the 4. I mean, listen, I don't have a strong opinion here, but I would worry about the lack of pace. And, taking the 7 out, yes, took out a horse that they all had to worry about beating, but also minimized the pace, and I think that's a real concern. Now, the 8 doesn't have much speed either, but still, she's got turf races that are easily good enough to be competitive in this race. I can't figure out for the life of me why she's 8-1.
And you're getting, much better price, as you said. 7-5 favorite, the 4 Sugar Bee, 9-1 outside with the 8 Casa Juanita. Set for this third from Laurel Park here, our first live action of our Friday program here on America's Day at the Races on our Fox Sports 2 coverage. Let's go to Dave Rodman for the call.
And Casa Juanita. Second finish line with a rail at 87 feet. And they're off. Tune to the Moon and Anita. We're first to fire away from the gate. Outside has Come to Mama, right into it early. And Tap It Up is in 4th position. On the inside, we have Sugar Bee. Casa Juanita right alongside of her as they race into the far turn. The length and a half more, and Don't Tell Kelly's at the back of the pack. Into the turn they roll, and it is Tune to the Moon. Tune to the Moon up front by some 2 lengths from Come to Mama on the chase, and Anita racing in 3rd position. And the outside, Casa Juanita starts to rally on now as the back of the pack. We have next Sugar Bee, who's coming off the inside, racing 3 or 4 deep as they turn in, and Don't Tell Kelly is widest of them all. Into the stretch, 1/4 mile from home. Picture changes all of a sudden. Casa Juanita and Come to Mama head-to-head for the lead. Just in behind them, Anita is next, along with Tune to the Moon. And then in between horses is Tap It Up through the final furlong. Come to Mama, Casa Juanita, Come to Mama. Tap It Up has moved into 3rd. Casa Juanita to the 2nd wire finish. Come to Mama, resilient. Come to Mama, Come to Mama. Come to Mama, Casa Juanita, and Tap It Up.
Come to Mama, cut back in distance and able to hold off a good effort here from Casa Juanita, but comes up just short.
Yeah, I guess it would have been more frustrating if Casa Juanita's price hadn't got cut in half in the last flash. And at some point, racetracks will come to terms with the fact they have to stop doing that to betting customers. But she was just not able to get up, Casa Juanita, Come to Mama, on the cutback. She'd only sprinted once, and it just seemed like she was a better horse going longer. Second off a layoff, turning back. For a trainer, is now 2 for 3, for what it's worth, turning back the route to sprint on turf.
All right, we'll have those prices for you momentarily. 5-1 on Come to Mama. Here's what's ahead, presented by Claiborne Farm. Fast and firm here in New York for Friday at Belmont of the Big A. Pick 6 beginning in the 3rd race today, and Fast and Firm, as we just showed you, out at Laurel. And their schedule, their bottom of the screen, we're going to be all over the place on our FS2 coverage early till 1:30. Then on the Fox 1 app and YouTube, 1:30 to 3:30. Back on FS2 starting at 3:30 Eastern Time. You can play all the action, including the Preakness and the rest of the Triple Crown, Saratoga Summer and beyond at NYRA Bets. Go to NYRABets.com, Preak25, that code to use at sign up to get a $25 free play for the Preakness Stakes and that $200 deposit match bonus. So the opener here, Belmont at the Big A, this allowance optional claiming field, 7/8 of a mile, and the filly we talked about, top of the show, Munnings Express, trying to win her 3rd in a row.
She's in raging form, and you've got a horse like her with speed in raging form, and the second likeliest winner is a little bit chilly on the board right now, is Limes That Don't Die for trainer Chad Brown. And listen, she ran a fast race when winning last time at Saratoga, but that was back in early August.
Silks that win a lot in the New York circuit. Flying P Stable for Rick Dutrow Jr. Here's All Class.
I can understand the argument for her being an overlay at 11-1 is the biggest price on the board. I'm not sure why she's the longest shot on the board.
Chad Brown, Dylan Davis team up with Limes Don't Lie.
Her lack of speed is problematic, and she improved dramatically in her last race, and then we don't see her again for 9 months, and she also has been scratched recently.
Trainer Linda Rice, she has 2 in here. Here's the bigger price, Atara.
Yeah, I mean, her races just aren't good enough, but to be fair, she lost to a very good horse last time in Irish Maxima.
Overwhelming favorite, the stablemate of Atara Munnings Express.
Jose Lezcano's supposed to keep it simple, put her in front and control up front.
And Todd Pletcher Barn, John Velasquez, 9-1 outside Artemis Sound.
Likely the stalker in this race who figures to be stalking outside. She had a very soft trip on the front end, but to be fair, she has some back races that are good enough to give her a chance. I'm not sure why the 1 and 5 have separated themselves so much from the other horses in here, and why the 2 and 3, I guess the 3 is getting some Pratt money.
Well, certainly based off her last performance and the way she's being bet, as we bring in Acacia Clement, Munnings Express seems like a foregone conclusion here in the opener.
It does appear that way on the betting board, and honestly, she just looks best against this group as well. She's strong, she's powerful, she's well-muscled. She's everything that you'd want to see from a favorite, kind of checking all of those boxes. And I thought her last win was impressive. She broke sharply, but she kind of let other horses go, and she was kind of in the 3 wide attending the pace, and she was very comfortably the winner every step of the way in her first start against Open Company, as she's gone through her New York bred conditions prior to that. She's shown that she can stalk a little bit if needed. She can be on the front end. I imagine she should be on the lead in here, though she did get a very reserved warm-up. Jose Lezcano keeping her with the pony, keeping her very quiet out there on the track. She certainly doesn't act like a speed horse, but I think she just has a lot of natural gate speed. Anyway, she's a short price. She's in terrific form. Like I said, she really just looks best. As far as the 2 Limes Don't Lie, she comes back off the back of that win, where she did have trouble at the start in Saratoga that day, but I think in large part it's because she just has no speed, and horses that break slowly I find often invite that sort of trouble at the beginning. So she did get bumped hard on either side and squeezed back early on, but again, she was breaking slowly and kind of putting herself into a position where she would end up with some trouble, and she's done that before as well. Now, she won nicely that day. Coming back here in the making her first start as her 4-year-old season, she's very fit. She just really hasn't changed much at all or developed. I always like to see a bit of progression. Yes, 2 to 3, but also 3 to 4. And that's where sometimes you might see some of the biggest changes from horses. So I would have liked to see a little bit more development for her. But like I said, she's very fit. She certainly looks ready coming back in her first start off the bench. And she's shown before with another long layoff that she can run well fresh. The number 5, Artemis Sound, is a generous price on the board. I'm with Andy. I thought that she and All Class both had some back races that would make them competitive. And Artemis Sound, double-digit odds right now. She won. I know she was able to control pretty easily in a slow pace last time out, but she did win off of a layoff, and she looks very strong and bulked up now, making her second start off the bench. And she has races fast enough that would put her in contention. I know that she's had maybe some ups and downs in her career with running in some lower level races, but she does seem to be in good form right now. I wish she was a touch better in her coat, if anything. But like I said, muscle mass wise, she looks strong. She stacks up in here, and she shouldn't be too far off the leader. She's not going to be pace compromised. Greg?
All right, Acacia, thank you. 11-1 right now as we get set for this opener. And of course, the race is going to kick off the pick 5, over $220,000 into pick 5. And obviously a huge wager now, just more money coming in on Munnings Express, 1-4 favorite.
Well, I mean, she's a deserving heavy favorite. And the other thing that's happening is that Limes Don't Lie isn't really getting played that strongly. And the only thing to keep her from being an overwhelming favorite was if the money really came in on the Chad Brown horse, Limes Don't Lie. It's not coming in. And therefore, she's going to be, as she is, an overwhelming favorite. And they're just not betting Limes Don't Lie at all.
Wow. 1-5. Munnings Express trying to win her 3rd in a row and her 5th in 9 tries. We kick off this Friday card from Belmont at the Big 8. Chris Griffin to get us started.
And they're off at Belmont at the Big A. Good beginning from Munnings Express is on the early lead, and Munnings Express will clear, is up by 3/4 of a length. Now trying to cut into the margin. All Class is at the rail, is moving forward in the flying piece. Silk's out wider. That's Artemis Sound is going to share that 2nd position, and in between horses off the layoff, Limes Don't Lie is in that early mix too. The Triller, Atara. They work up the backstretch in 22.79. Was that opening quarter mile. Munnings Express is in control. Munnings Express, Jose Lescano approach. 4 furlongs left to go, up by 3/4 of a length still, as now Artemis Sound is asked to do more. Limes Don't Lie is well settled just off of them in 3rd, and here's the first move from Atara. Atara is ranging up 3 wide, and Flavien Prat, they're on the move, about to challenge for 2nd, as Munnings Express still leads. The Trailer, All Class, 45.62. For that half-mile time, they reach a quarter mile left to go. Munnings Express just nibbled along by Jose Lescano. Atara is in full pursuit, but Munnings Express is still holding a healthy margin. Approaching the final furlong, Munnings Express keeps rolling on. Atara is a clear 2nd. Limes Don't Lie in 3rd. Late run here, All Class. But inside this final 16th, just in top form right now, Munnings Express wins the opener. Atara is in a photo with Limes Don't Lie and All Class.
Munnings Express, 3 in a row now, 5 for 9 lifetime, and goes off as the 1-5 favorite and never threatened.
And obviously, the racing service is pretty quick with a final time of 1:22.59. But she went around 45 3/5 the half. And if you weren't looking at the fractions, the way she was going so easily, you would have thought it was a slow. You think she was going 23 and change 47. She's just in such good form. And obviously, the track, once again, playing very quickly. But she's in just such good form. She won this race in an absolute canter. As you like to say, they don't run them on paper, they run them on TV screens. This race, they ran it on paper.
Yes, they did. Munnings Express in top form. She has never been off the board in 8 tries here. Now 5 for 8 on this surface in South Ozone Park. Again, as Andy mentioned, pretty sharp time to finish the 7/8 up in 1:22.2.
Linda May better be careful. She's going to have to start running some horses in some stake races going forward, because this New York bred clearly showed that she's ready to take on stakes competition, and she's out of conditions against New York breds and open.
Never in doubt. Atara, Limes Don't Lie, All Class complete way back. The top 4 in here, but it was all about your winner. For Team Spoor, won the 2nd start of her career, and she hasn't stopped visiting the winner's circle pretty much since. 3 in a row now for her. Very short price favorite to kick things off. Gonna look ahead to the weekend when we return. We have 4 stakes on the Saturday card, including the John A. Nehrude Full Moon Madness graded stakes winner. Back in action for Michelle Nevin. A preview next. Back with you on our Friday coverage. America's Day at the Races is brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. Let's take a look at what's new at ABR this week. They have an early look at the probable field for the 2026 Preakness. Peter Pan Stakes at a glance with a snapshot analysis of every runner in the race, and Born to Run tips and trends for betting Monmouth Park this summer season with opening day. We'll have live on the air opening day coverage tomorrow from the Jersey Shore. Munnings Express, impressive in the opener to kick off this Friday card. Our Winner's Circle lead-in brought to you by the Fasig-Tipton Mid-Atlantic May 2-year-olds at training sale, May 18th and 19th after the Preakness in Timonium, Maryland. Where will you be? Linda Rice, Jose Lezcano, teams for your winning connections. Let's go down to Acacia.
Munnings Express has been on a roll. I'm pleased to be joined by her trainer, Linda Rice. And Linda, couldn't help but overhear you after the race telling Jose Lezcano, good job not taking away her best weapon, her speed. And she definitely was flaunting that.
Exactly. I mean, she's a fast filly. She's shown that. She rated last time going 3/4, but, you know, we discussed it before the race, and, you know, speed's her weapon, and use it. So...
She's been really good lately, going through her New York bred conditions, now going through her open conditions as well. Do you consider some stake races for her maybe next?
Well, I don't know if it'll be her next time, but absolutely. I mean, I think she's a stakes caliber filly. You know, we brought her along slowly. She's very big. And as I was telling Richard Spoy, the owner, I think this filly, she reminds me a lot of La Verdad. She's very big. And La Verdad had her best year as a 5-year-old. And I suspect this filly's just going to get better with age as well.
Well, we can't wait to watch her. She's in terrific form right now. Congratulations.
Thank you, Acacia.
Greg?
Record for most wins on this circuit, which she is on pace to shatter this year, Linda Rice.
She's got horses for all the conditions. She loaded up for Bear and had a great winter, and I wish there were more people as loaded as that. It's not easy to do, but she was prepared and she won.
Short price, hold serve here in the opener with an easy victory for Munnings Express. So race 2, 7/8 of a mile. Starter allowance and Princess Nye. Linda Rice, Jose Lezcano.
Yeah, Linda's represented by both Princess Nye and the 3 Adrian, who I like in this race. Looks like from the doubles, though, Grace and Grit will be the favorite by post time.
Pratt on Adrian. Talk more about this field coming up in just a little bit. Tremendous Saturday card we have coming up here at Belmont at the Big A. Among the stakes races, we have the Grade 3. John Nayrud, $175,000 purse, 4-year-olds and up. Going to break. We mentioned Full Moon Madness, former graded stakes winner, is one of her $500,000 in his 6-year-old career. And we'll get another look at 1-900, who Full Moon Madness finished just ahead of when they met in the Tom Fool.
Tough beat for Full Moon Madness last time out. And the question with 1-900 is he a horse that performs best with Lasix? He didn't run badly without it last time, but I mean, you look at him, he looked like he was just cruising. He ran an otherworldly performance coming off the layoff in his prior race, and he just kind of falls apart in his own in the late stages. And while Full Moon Madness gets nailed in the late stages by Bold Journey, who rarely wins, Full Moon Madness really ran the better race, but I still know that 1-900, if you were going to get the best performance out of all of these, 1-900 would win, but he's hard to completely trust after last time.
Yeah, it looked like a serious sprinter on the rise, especially after that performance right before that Tom Fool. As for Radio Red, draws the rail for Danny Gargan, who's put together back-to-back wins coming into this spot. Will cut back in distance.
So, in order to win here, he probably has to run back to that big figure he ran 2 back. And while he won last time, he didn't come close to running back to that number. And this was a funny race because this race just completely is the Haynesfield, just evaporated in the late stages. I mean, look at the horses that are coming from behind. The speed was falling apart. But credit to Danny Gargan, got him to win this race. You know, Danny had struggled to get horses to win off Lasix, but lately he's had a couple of horses that ran very well coming off it, so that tide has kind of turned. And I'm not going to be surprised when he runs well in here. I think there's some things to say about everybody in here to say if 1-900 can't run his best race, they all have a chance.
And, of course, rematch from last year. Silver Slugger's just been a really neat horse. 6-year-old for V-Mart, Victor Martinez, former all-star major leaguer. And his Victoria's Ranch had a nice run with this horse, 12 for 19 lifetime.
And this was a really tough beat for him last year in this race when he got beaten. Really fighting out the whole way. Wesley Ward's horse just nails him at the wire in here, but he fought tooth and nail to the wire. Now, I would argue maybe he came in this race last year with slightly better form out of town, but he ran well here last year. Why can't he run well again?
V. Mart himself, a two-time Silver Slugger Award winner. And this one's lived up to the lofty name.
And this one named for the great John Nehru, who was a huge presence both as a trainer but also managing Tartan Farms for so many years when his son trained those horses. But of course, Dr. Fager, the one so many think of, but there were many, many other great ones. Fabiano comes to mind for me as well, and O'Geigen.
Hope you join us for that lineup tomorrow on our Fox Sports coverage. Loaded Saturday lineup here, Belmont at the Big A on our Saturday card. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more coming up. We're about 17 minutes away from race 2, and it's almost ready. The new reimagined Belmont Park, their stakes schedule unveiled. Stay with us.
The classic sire.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime, including the second leg of racing's Triple Crown. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $25 free bet, plus $200 deposit match bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with daily promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Sign up now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit match now through the Preakness Stakes, only with Naira Bets.
Magnificent was Full Count Felicia, never in doubt.
Coming down to the finish, First World War. Fort Washington on the outside. They're coming down to the line, and Goliad does it.
Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Live racing returns to Monmouth Park Saturday, May 9th with a 12:50 first post. Watch and wager on world-class racing from the iconic Jersey Shore each weekend all summer long. Check out the country's best handicapping contest schedule at monmouthpark.com with a wide variety of tournaments taking place monthly. Joining us on site, lock in your odds with fixed odds wagering at Monmouth Park Racetrack.
If you've not already, circle your calendar. September 18th, once we conclude Saratoga, it is opening day at the new reimagined Belmont Park. And stake schedule just released. This is getting real.
It is. I agree. Opening day. Jockey Club Gold Cup, hoping to have a huge race that day. Obviously, Sovereignty would be the biggest draw in there, but a big card and a big day, opening day. Stake schedule is out, and for me, the most exciting one is the Casa Creed.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
On November 1st, named for our buddy Leon Seidler's
Became, he was sort of like a mini version of Four Star Dave, what he accomplished up at Saratoga, the success he had. And he's almost not quite as popular, but very popular.
Hard to find a horse in this country that has won grade ones at a mile and at 6 furlongs in sprints. You don't see a lot of horses that can compete at that level at both distances, and he's done it twice. 2 Jipers and 2 Four Star Daves. Any horse deserved a race name for him. It's Casa Creed.
Not a bad way to kick in the new digs with a Jockey Club Gold Cup, September 18th. Joe Hurst Turf Classic following week, and then some big ones on the road to the Breeders' Cup.
And the Flower Bowl has been moved back to Belmont Park in a mile and a quarter, and that'll be run around 2 turns the same day as the Joe Hurst Turf Classic.
Another look at the odds of race 2 here. We're going to be signing off on our Fox Sports 2 coverage. You can continue to watch things over on the Fox One app and on our YouTube page at New York Racing Association. Look for America's Day at the Races. We are back on Fox Sports 2 again later this afternoon, 3:30 Eastern Time. We return to the network, but hope to see you over again on the Fox One app or on YouTube with continuing live coverage of the card from here in New York and Laurel. Welcome to those joining us on YouTube and the Fox One app. Greg Wolf, Andy Serling, America's Day at the Races. We are 10 minutes away from the early pick 4 on this Friday card here. Belmont at the Big A, 7/8 of a mile and a starter allowance coming up. We had a huge favorite. Looked very impressive in the opener, winning for Linda Rice, Munnings Express. That was about a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
And this race a little more wide open.
Is more wide open. Linda has 2 players in the air. I like the one at a bigger price, the 3 Adrian. Not a race that figures to have a strong pace. The 2 looks like the speed, Cloudy Chance, but is she good enough?
We go to Laurel. 1 turn mile, starter optional claiming field, and American Select. Huge odds-on favorite here.
Well, I'm not sure she's supposed to be 3 to 5 in here, but she is the controlling speed on the front end. It's just not a race that has a lot of horses that really do much for you, and I agree with the public. The 2 second choice, the 4 Run Sweetly, looks like the other horse in here. She just doesn't have any speed, and when you've got 2 horses, even if you think they have relatively similar chances, the one that has the early speed is the one to beat. I think the only concern with American Select is, are you concerned about a horse off the claim? And for what it's worth, this horse was claimed by Harold Winter off the claim in dirt routes, and this is a mile. He's just 3 for 49 over the last 5 years, so he has not had a lot of success. I'm guessing few looked on paper like American Select.
1 to 2 on the board. You mentioned Run Sweetly, the 4. A little bit of a look maybe to Rehoboth Avenue, the 5, who gets back to dirt. Dave Rodman with the call. Here's the 4th from Laurel.
CC Commander. One out, CC Commander. 1 turn mile, 2nd finish line. Just waiting for CC Commander. Opening gate for CC Commander. 22 to 1 shot. American Select continues 3 to 5. In this time, CC Commander. Mile. And they're off. Rehoboth Avenue bobble there at the start. American Select wasting no time right to the front from CC Commander. Here's Margaret P. right there in the early mix, too, and Rehoboth Avenue has recovered a bit in between horses as they move through the opening furlong to the main portion of the track. Diamond Soup, Pink Silks down to the inside and Run Sweetly is the trailer. It is American Select nursed along on a narrow lead just ahead in front, and now Rehoboth Avenue tries to challenge for the lead. Just by them is Margaret P. who's out of the clear, and Diamond Sue riding that rail. In between horses, Run Sweetly is eager to go too. In some tight quarters there, Run Sweetly and Diamond Sue on the inside. CC Commander has a clear bid from the outside heading into the far turn run. A pace very slow. The opening quarter went in 25 1/5 of a second. So it's American Select from Rehoboth Avenue. Now Run Sweetly is free to run on from the clear, the inside third position. Outside is CC Commander, followed by Diamond Sue, who's next as they move with 3 furlongs left to go. And Margaret P. is at the back of the pack out wide. Top of the stretch, the half went in 49 3/5 of a second. There's a quarter mile to go. Turning in, American Select gets at Hazelwood with some confidence, opens up, pops away under a hand ride. Now asks for a full sprint home as a 4-length lead. 3/16 left to run to the second finish line. CC Commander is second on the outside. Diamond Sue and Rehoboth Avenue giving all down to the inside, trying to fight on back for more with a 16th left to run. American Select. American Select odds on and gone. American Select to win by almost double digits. Rehoboth Avenue, then CC Commander and Diamond Sue.
Odds-on favorite, American Select, too good for this group here at Laurel. It's at Hazelwood. First off, the claim win for the barn of Harold Weiner.
Yes, and apologies for mispronouncing the name first time out. It's Harold Weiner, and he's now 4 for 50 off the claim in dirt routes over the last 5 years, and he found the right horse, nursed along in a preposterously slow pace, and just blew the field away.
Again at odds on now, 2 for 7 lifetime. 4-year-old filly by Flatter. Dominant, owned by John Finelli. Prices we'll have coming your way in a moment. Back to New York, race 2. Post parade for this 7 furlong starter allowance. Quick look at the odds. Grace and Grit, 6-5 morning line favorite. Blinkers going on for the barn of Amelia Green.
Actually, the morning line favorite was the horse on the rail. The number 1,
Mezz California.
Yeah.
And here she is.
Yeah, I mean, she's got the last time as a time look for me, but I guess if she's 4-1, I can see the argument. And listen, she ran fast last time. She runs back to that race. She's going to be tough.
Yeah, moving barn since that win. Here's Cloudy Chance, Chris Englehart barn.
Big price on a horse that looks like the main speed in this race, but is she good enough?
Adrian has Flavian Pratt for Linda Rice.
I think her prior races 2 and 3 back before the layoff were good enough. Something went wrong after she got eliminated at the break last time out. Haven't seen her now for 6 months. I'm hoping she gets back to her better races, which are good enough to win.
Here is Princess Nye, Connections that won the opener.
Career best buyer figure for her in the mud last time. Can she duplicate that effort? She'll need to.
There's Grace and Grit taking all that attention on the board as the 7-5 favorite.
Unusual to see horses that improve off from Linda Rice, but Amelia Green has done just that with Grace and Grit. I don't think she should be 7-5, but I can see the argument.
And that's funny. Claimed by the Cantermachi barn, struggled in the mud last start.
She did, and the race she won was a conditional claiming race against a softer field 2 back. She would simply have to get faster to win, thus a big price.
3 minutes to post here in the start of the early. Pick 4 from Belmont to the Big A. Let's go downstairs to Acacia Clement.
We'll take a look at the 2 for the Linda Rice barn, beginning with the number 4, Princess Nye, who did open up as the favorite. And I think Andy touched on one of the key things that is my biggest question with her in the post parade, in that she ran her best number in the mud last time. And 2 out of her 3 career victories have come over wet tracks. And she has run some of her fastest races over wet tracks as well. She's also kind of built like a horse that might appreciate a wet track. Not saying that she can't handle a fast track, but just as something that I did notice about her form. She was just second best last time, but she was in stalking spot. She was forward. She does have some natural pace, so able to put herself into the game a little bit, which I do appreciate. We'll see if Jose Lezcano can get his early double with her in here. I do prefer Linda's other horse, though, in Adrian. I know that she is a deep closer, but she just looks fantastic. She carries a lot of weight and conditioning, but that's always how she's been. So I think that's normal for her. I don't look at her and say that she doesn't look fit. Super coat on her, completely dappled out, striding out nicely. She did get squeezed and steadied very far back last time out. She was completely out of the picture in that race. And while she did have a little bit of a minor rally, it seemed that Kendra Kermouche, who was aboard that day, I think was largely protecting her throughout the running of that race. So sidelined since then. She does get Flavien Prat for the return. And I just really liked the way that she appeared in the preliminaries here. Now the number 5, Grayson Grit, who is currently your favorite, gets blinkers on. Just a short cup adding today, as this is a horse who ran very well last time. She was last early, and she was not really covered up or able to kind of drop in and get settled. She, I think, maybe kind of took herself out of it a little bit even early. Jamie Rodriguez kind of being forced to move from that point. And then she ended up being second best to Snide, who was the favorite that day. But I thought maybe not the smoothest trip, maybe a little bit of stops and starts, and she still ran very well that day. She got a good win 2 starts back. And while she isn't the biggest, she has filled out quite a bit, I've noticed, since she's been with Amelia, which I always do appreciate, looking like that kind of quintessential type of Munnings build. So we'll see if the blinkers on do help her to either seal the deal a little bit in the stretch or maybe put herself into the race a bit more. She has gotten a bit sharper now out on the track, Greg.
Thank you, Acacia. There's the prices, as you see, from Laurel Park. American Selected odds on in that 4th with Yedsit Hazelwood for Harold Weiner. And a minute to post lining up here for the start of this pick 4 with Grayson Grit taking all this attention at 9 to 5.
Yeah, a difficult read, this race, to be honest with you. So I'm not surprised that the betting is sort of all over the board in this race. I'm a little surprised to see how much money the horse Highlight is taking at 2 to 1. But I guess when you have Flavien Prat riding, it's never surprising when his horses go off at short prices. I'm hoping Adrian run better. I hope the money is meaningful for her. But she's only a slight favorite over the 5. Grayson Grit, who's a very big favorite in the double.
There's Prat, 2-time running Eclipse Award-winning rider. And aside from that, take 2 and 3 starts back, I mean, those were right in line with Grayson Grit, weren't they?
Yeah, and she didn't have the best of trips in those races. Last time out, eliminated the start, and a race dominated up on the front end. So I do give her a big chance. I think the money she's taking is a good sign. Now, she doesn't have a lot of speed, which in this race could put her behind the 8 ball. But one thing Flavien Prat has been very, very good at is recognizing those situations and finding ways to get horses into more forward position.
Bad sign how cool the public is on the 1?
I don't know. I wouldn't want to make the morning line in this race. Yes and no, to be honest with you. She ran well enough, but she is off a trainer change. Kind of last time was the time. I don't have a strong opinion on that. If I know I made a morning line in here, it would be far more worse than any line David Aragona is going to make.
There's Princess Nye stepping in, 1 of 2 for Linda Rice. The favorite, Grayson Grit for Amelia Green, with Jamie Rodriguez, who we'll have more on later in the program. Blinkers on the 5, set for race 2. Let's go to Chris Griffin.
Load. All set. And they're off. Good speed from Mez, California, but quickest will be Cloudy Chance. And Cloudy Chance now head and head with Princess Nye in the early mix. Princess Nye puts a nose in front. Back to second is Cloudy Chance, and well off of them, it's another 3.5 back to Grayson Grit. To the outside is now taken 3rd. In between horses, that's Adrian at the rail. Mez, California starts to move forward. That's Funny is the trailer. They work up the backstretch in a 2-way battle for the front in 22.72. Princess Nye is trying to shake loose from Cloudy Chance. Mez, California in a tight spot here at the rail is a shared 3rd. Out wider, Grayson Grit is 3 wide. Adrian just had to shuffle, is back there in 5th. And the trailer, That's Funny, starts from the back end of the field as Cloudy Chance has put a nose in front of Princess Nye, and their tussle continues. Cloudy Chance still with the advantage. Princess Nye and Grace and Grit in full pursuit now for Jamie Rodriguez, 3 wide, 45.79 for that half-mile time, and a new leader. Grace and Grit at the top of the stretch starts to get away. Grace and Grit, Princess Nye, Cloudy Chances back to third. Late rally here from Adrian, and also on the grandstand side, That's Funny. Grace and Grit is finding plenty inside the final furlong. Grace and Grit with a healthy margin now approaches the final 16th. It's going to be all Grace and Grit with a dominant performance today. Grace and Grit wins easily. Princess Nye second, then came Adrian, and That's Funny.
Grace and Grit picks up the third win of her career with blinkers on this afternoon. Sharp performance.
The betting public is so rarely wrong, as they made a horse not favored on the line, the favorite in this race, and she got a good trip, but she just dominated these horses. Feels like she improved off her recent efforts. She was bet like she would, and she did.
Wins at 9-5. Picking up the third victory of her career, Amelia Greenbarn, Bennett Racing Stables, and Jamie Rodriguez well clear of the rest of the pack. 5-4-3-6 finish. Here in race 2, again at 9-5 for Grace and Grit. We'll have these prices when we come back. We're going to take a look at what transpired earlier this morning over in Chester across the pond, and who punched their ticket should they choose to come to the Grade 1 Manhattan Belmont at Saratoga week. Stay with us.
He looked like a horse that breeders would love. He's just that perfect silhouette of a horse.
Citizen Bull, his speed is his weapon.
Citizen Bull in gate-to-wire fashion.
When the real running starts,
And he kicks away.
you need that brilliance. You need that speed to carry you on.
Citizen Bull to win.
To me, the best sires are the milers. I want a sire that's a miler.
Citizen Bull leads them all the way.
He's a colt with every single ingredient you want in a stallion prospect.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime, including the second leg of Racing's Triple Crown. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $25 free bet, plus $200 deposit match bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with daily promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Sign up now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit match now through the Preakness Stakes, only with Naira Bets.
Adelphi Racing Club offers the unparalleled excitement of owning thoroughbred racehorses at a fraction of the cost. We're not just a syndicate, and our members aren't just investors. We are partners. Our New York-based high-performing equine athletes, trainers, and jockeys compete and win at the highest level circuits. Contact us online to get a taste of the Adelphi difference, and let's win races together.
Drain the clock. Jockey's Warrior. Drain the clock by a head.
1,000,001, hit it in 1,000,001, 1,100,000, hit it in 75,700. Mike, 700,000. 70, 570,000. Thank you.
There's 2 furlongs left to go in the Deep Bridge Huxley Stakes. Can Lambourne see them off? Bay City Roller hasn't gone away. They both swing a little wide. Sparks Fly running a blinder is through into third, and further back to High Stock, Ice Max and Royal Rhyme. But it's a terrific battle up ahead here. In the red jacket, Bay City Roller. Dark blue, the far side, Lambourne. Lambourne finding plenty here from Bay City Roller, who's held every chance but couldn't quite get by Lambourne. Lambourne's back.
Unreal what happened at this meeting at Chester for Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore. They sweep the black type races at the meeting for the first time in history. Lambourne, multiple Group 1 winner with the Huxley win, earning a berth to the Manhattan, but I think he may have bigger fish to fry across the pond.
No, I would imagine he'll be in the Prince of Wales at Ascot. We will not see him in Saratoga. Maybe we can recruit somebody else to those races. I still love the cooperation between there, and I'm just glad to see Aiden and Coolmore get a win. It's been a tough run for them. I don't think they had won one in about 20 minutes.
Really neat partnership, though. Yeah, hopefully
I love it.
we're going to bear some fruits from that in the years to come. And as you said, I would love to get there one day. You mentioned on the program the other day, I believe 1539, is when that track was established.
Crazy. As you said, what did you say, 350 years before Saratoga or something?
24 years, yeah.
Right. That's pretty great when you think about it. It looks like a lot of fun. Our race secretary, Rod McLennan, was over there. Looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
This is right around the corner as well, and the Kentucky Derby winner will be back in action in the Belmont Stakes. Passing on the Preakness, we'll see this Golden Tempo at Saratoga. You can be there too. Get your tickets now at belmontstakes.com/tickets. Be part of the final Belmont week at Saratoga after an incredible experience the first 2 years.
Yeah, and it's the last time we're going to be up there. 51 total days of racing between Belmont Stakes Week and the Belmont Meet. Of course, the Saratoga Meet, excuse me. We'll be back to 40 days after this year, so you want to come up and enjoy that great weekend of racing up in Saratoga for Belmont Stakes.
Grace and Grit, the favorite. Blinkers going on and looks strong in race 2. Jamie Rodriguez, Amelia Green, Bennett Racing Stables, and the third career win from 16 tries for this 4-year-old filly.
Yeah, she was a dominating winner, and this makes it 11 for 28 for rider Jamie Rodriguez riding for Amelia Green over the last 6 months, and Jamie's just doing sensationally. He's really kept things up since coming to York and impressed a lot of people.
So Grace and Grit, big effort here in the second. About 2.5, 2¾ lengths back to the 4 there, Princess Nye. And then Adrian completing that trifecta for 50 cents, coming back $16.
Yeah, Adrian had her chance, just not quite good enough even to get up for second with Linda running second and third. Not easy to beat Linda Rice. Got to do it with one of her ex-horses.
Indeed. That's what happened here. Race 3, $16,000 claiming race. 6.5 furlong sprint coming up, and currently 5-2. Favorite, even though our odds don't reflect it here on our screen, Glint taking a lot of early money.
Yeah, we don't understand why, and it does appear that Nabokov will be favored by post time looking at the doubles, or looking at pick threes, excuse me, but not a lot of separation in this field.
All right, we're about 20 minutes away while the post parade panic report from that third that's going to kick off the pick 6 on our Friday card when we come back from a timeout tomorrow. Opening day at the Jersey Shore for Monmouth Park. We will have live on-site coverage. We'll have a preview of the meet when we come back.
They come on for the finish in the Pilgrim Stakes. Annapolis by a head.
It is Annapolis in front. It is Annapolis to win the Coolmore Turf Mile.
This is a special place where champions from around the world aren't just celebrated. They're made into legends. With every turn, every wager, every photo finish, every
race program at the brand new Belmont Park and Woodbine Racetrack, restricted to New York or Canadian foaled horses. This new event kicks off the day after Christmas with 4 2-year-old stakes races on Belmont's new Tapeta surface and continues all spring and summer through late July at Woodbine. The Empire Trillium Series. To learn more and enroll either New York or Canadian breds, go to NYRA.com/EMPTRI.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Back with you on our Friday coverage. America's Day at the Races, brought to you in part where you can play it all at NYRA Bets. Get signed up now, Preak25, that code to use to get a $25 free play in the Preakness Stakes and that $200 deposit match new customer bonus. Tomorrow, live on-site coverage from the Jersey Shore at Monmouth Park, always a fun season. And we will have Megan Burgess
and Paul LaDuca
together, for our opening day of the meet. Looking forward to it. Of course, they have a big one coming up over the weekend in the 3-year-old division with the Long Branch over the weekend. Talk a little bit later on in the program about that one.
We're not talking about it right now?
As in right now.
It's a little bit later.
6-horse field that's going to line up in this spot. Hedge Ratio, Chad Brown, Klarovich coming off a big win at Aqueduct, second career victory, 100 Beyer in the win.
I mean, for people to put this in perspective, the Kentucky Derby got a 95 Beyer. Now, nobody's saying this horse would have won the Kentucky Derby. Just kind of give perspective on how significant that figure was. And I think there were only 3 horses in the Derby that had run triple-digit Beyers in their prior starts. Trying to find out who this horse is, because this was a massive improvement and beat another Chad Brown horse, and they laid to waste the field, and they're running a very, very fast race. They'll stretch them out to 2 turns, and if this is the horse that Edge Ratio is, who knows?
Chad Brown had, I believe, the favorite in this race last year. Came up a wet track.
He's at the 8th pole now, Garamond.
Yeah.
He's trying all sorts. I think he was, I believe that Garamond was in the sale a week or 2 ago for Juddmonte.
Oh, really?
Yes. There's another Juddmonte ex-Chad Brown horse running a little later at Laurel today named Mason, who was competitive in some graded stakes up in Saratoga and won the poker, actually. It's a tough game, but Hedge Ratio will be very interesting to see what he can do because he was good last time. This is 2 turns, new test for him.
Bricklin coming out of the Arkansas Derby, Sunland Park Derby, has figures that at least that last race
He looks like the chief competition, right? The horse inside of him.
All right, we're looking forward to that coverage over the weekend. Back to Laurel. Race 5.
Those are the old jerseys for the old Washington Bullets. Can we say that? Now Washington Wizards. Right? Doesn't it kind of look like the old jerseys?
A little bit, yeah.
Wes Unseld.
So good.
Galvin Hayes.
This is Dancing Danae. 2-time winner from 16 starts. This race, 1 turn mile, 20 claiming race.
Significant scratches with there's just no speed on paper. And with the 1 coming out, there's even less, which hurts the chances of the 2, but maybe they'll be aggressive.
Painted Lion went by the 3. Here's Master Schemer.
And Painted Lion could be speed. At this point, anybody could be speed, as this one's getting another chance and has had a few.
Jamie Nespar on the 5. Impressiveness was favored. Second choice now.
I don't know why this horse. I guess the last 2 figs have been fast enough for Master Schemer that he's favored, but this horse could be the speed.
Boss Mode on the outside, 7-2.
That one looked a little hard to make.
Yeah.
Pricey's only 7-2. I'll take the 5 over the 4.
All right, 3 minutes to post. Race 5 at Laurel, back to New York. Pick 6 starts in this third, the 6.5 furlong sprint as we look at Dots Dollar, 10-time winner. Let's head downstairs to Acacia.
Is a 10-time winner, but coming off of a disappointing effort and is going back into a straight claiming race, this time for 16,000, was running for 10 a couple races back. And the thing with Dots Dollar is that he has that early speed, and if he's not able to get to the front or to be able to comfortably control, it usually doesn't run his best race. He ran a good effort 2 starts back, being able to set the pace, and he was a big price in that race last time out, where he just gradually was protected and fading in there. I do imagine they're going to be aggressive with him coming back into this spot. He looks super, though. I can't really fault him. He has not the biggest type of build, but very streamlined in the way that he's put together, and he just seems like a bright, happy horse. So we'll see what Dots Dollar can do, and if he can get back into his form today, as it has been a little bit hit or miss, and obviously that 84 Beyer speed figure 2 starts back does just kind of stick out like a sore thumb. Now the number 4, Nabokov, who should be you would imagine on paper, the controlling pace. And so it will be interesting to see how things play out with the presence of Dots Dollar right to his inside. Went to the lead last time, and he dug in. Would have liked to see him hang on for second in there, but Timaeus did come back to win in his subsequent start. And this is a horse that has done well in his last couple of starts and been consistent too. And a horse that I've always felt shorter is really kind of better for him. So sticking at the 6.5 furlongs today, I think suits him. He's in good form right now. He's carrying great weight once again. And Manny Franco, who was aboard for his win 2 starts back, will climb aboard today for Ilkay, who's had this horse now for a few starts and have found that the longer they are in Ilkay's care, that does seem to be when maybe the proverbial light bulb does go on. But a horse that does seem to be thriving as of now, Greg.
All right, thanks, Acacia. Let's look back to Gray Wing. There's that 8-year-old, 10-time winner as well, who'll break from the inside, moving to a new barn.
This is 2 back when he beat Nabokov, as well as the number 7, Screaming Uncle. The 3 in here, I prefer Screaming Uncle. I think he'll benefit from the outside draw in this race. The reason that Gray Wing is not taking a lot of money, I mean, some of it is his poor performance as a heavy favorite last time, but that was a muddy track, so maybe people will be forgiving. I don't think they like the trainer change claimed away from Rick Dutrow for a more low percentage barn. He's a big price if you like him. As far as Nabokov, not his biggest fan either. I take anybody out of here. I'm taking the 4th place finisher, Screaming Uncle, who's part of my exacta play.
Screaming Uncle outside post, the 7 we'll get to.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Well, he was 4th in the race we just showed.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how this race plays out because Dots Dollar theoretically is the speed. Now, when he won 2 back, he rode a Super Gold rail that day, and I just can't imagine that Manny Franco and Nabokov and even Gray Wing on the inside aren't going to go a little bit in this race. So we'll see if he's able to control on the front end. I'm playing for the race to come apart a little bit in here. I like Emerald Forest, the 6 with the 5 and 7.
All right, back to Laurel and loading up. Race 5, 8-5 on Dancing Danae from the inside post here, who certainly last time out came from way out of it. Wound up second.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how upset were you when they scratched the 1 Mr. Roscoe out of this race? I was like a 7. I don't want to say that I completely blew up and had a meltdown, but I was pretty bummed. I'll take the 5 Impressiveness in here, who I'm hoping is put on the front end. And you know what? Well, I don't think that rider likes to be overly aggressive, but we'll see if he goes to the front with him for Jamie Ness.
Yeah, you had said Hazelwood coming off that odds-on victory we saw earlier. He'll be aboard that one, 9-5 right now. Let's go to Dave Rodman.
Riders hopped off Dancing Danae. Dancing Danae in, jockey to join in the gate. Here's Painted Lion. Gray Master Schemer. Impressiveness. Boss Mode. 1 turn mile, 2nd finish line. And they're off. Impressiveness with a good start from the gate. Dancing Danae's right up there with some early foot as well. And Master Schemer between horses. Boss Mode is next and trailing the field. Painted Lion, only 5 lengths from front to back. It's a crawl of a pace up front as Dancing Danae shows the way. Dancing Danae moves right along. About 1.5 lengths, opens 2 lengths at a slow pace from Master Schemer in 2nd. Impressiveness out of the clear in 3rd position. Painted Lion rail 4th. And Boss Mode. Not much change. Dancing Dancing Danae to catch. Master Schemer on the chase. And then Impressiveness in third and Painted Lion saving ground. Heading onto the far turn, 5/8 out from the second finish. And Boss Mode is a trailer 26 seconds at opening quarter mile. And so Dancing Danae just walking along on that pace. Leads it from Master Schemer is up close. And Master Schemer inching forward to the outside to challenge Dancing Danae into the far turn. Impressiveness third. The half went in 50 3/5 of a second. Painted Lion ridden along for a little more. Outrun is Boss Mode. They race to the top of the stretch for the long run into the second finish. Master Schemer, Dancing Danae down to the inside. Impressiveness trying to quicken up the foot of the outside. Here's Impressiveness and Master Schemer. Dancing Danae coming back for a little more on the inside. 3 across the track, and Impressiveness has the kick at the 3/16 run to the second wire finish. Here's Dancing Danae, who's battling along with Master Schemer head and head for second. Impressiveness with a 16th left to run. 2.5, 3-length lead. Dancing Danae and Master Schemer on the chase. Impressiveness and Yedzit Hazelwood. From Dancing Danae, then Master Schemer and Painted Lion.
Impressiveness, Jamie Ness. Yedzit Hazelwood with another one, and behind him for second and third, a little bumping between the 2 and 4.
Well, don't know if that affected anything, but this horse, I don't know why you break on top and you'd strangle him back, but it ended up working out as this horse for trainer Jamie Ness. And Zach Hazelwood gets an easy victory.
So impressiveness with the victory. I'm not sure that the 2 certainly came out, and as a result, the 4 reacted and was pushed out. I don't know if there was actually any physical contact, however. As we take you to the post parade for race 3 here in New York. Gray Wing kicks things off. New barn, Eduardo Jones.
Big price coming off the claim. They're betting this horse like they don't expect he can run anymore. We'll see.
Dots Dollar, 10-10 winner, and went gate to wire 2 back.
Is he the controlling speed, or will he take pressure either inside or outside or both?
Nabokov, Cantermachi barn, Manny Franco.
He was a better rider than horse, but he's still been running reasonably well lately.
That's what, 280,000?
Originally Peter Brandt, I believe, who's clearly a big Nabokov fan.
Here is Glint at 9-2.
Ran a respectable second, what I thought was a subpar field last time out.
Was on a muddy sealed track. We'll see if that improved form can continue here in the fast going. He's got this really popular in the claim box.
This horse has never sprinted before, and he comes in this race cutting back significantly in distance. I like the turnbacks. I just wonder if he'll be too far back.
Ricardo Santana Jr. on Emerald Forest for Charlie Baker.
I like this horse. Ricardo picks up the mount on a horse. This last race wasn't that good, but maybe something went wrong. We haven't seen him for 2 months. I think either of his prior second and third races back against the bias behind Doc's Dollar can win this.
And Screaming Uncle rounds out the field. Raylu Gutierrez aboard.
Another horse who's too big a price in this race. I think he has a good chance to turn the tables, getting an outside post. I like his chances. I bet the 6 and boxed him with the 5 and 7.
4 minutes to post. Race that kicks off this Friday, pick 6. Belmont at the Big A. Let's go to Acacia.
The number 5, He's Got This, is getting a big cut back in distance from 1 1/8 to 6.5. And I've always felt that a bit shorter is better for him. He's not built like a 2-turn type of horse. He's built more like one that is a bit more compact. He's shorter coupled. He's kind of a quintessential, sprinter, 6.5 to a mile type of built horse. So I like the cutback for him. Jose Lezcano has given him a spirited warm-up, which I appreciate, because there is definitely, as Andy touched on, the concern that he will kind of get run off his feet. But with the presence of Nabokov and Dots Dollar, hopefully, in theory, there might be a little bit of pace in here, but just thought he was moving really well out there in the track. And like I said, I really like shorter for him. He actually didn't run too badly last time, and when making a little bit of an early move into that 1 1/8 race. The number 6, Emerald Forest, I always have a soft spot for this horse. He's always one that is visually appealing. He's well put together. They saddled him outside, as he sometimes can be a bit finicky getting the tack on, but he acted fine today. He's an old pro at this stage at the age of 8. I did prefer the warm-ups of a few others overall, but that being said, he comes back off a little bit of a freshening since March. Good muscle on him, super coat on him coming in, and I think that he is a horse that we will see get back to some of his better races, especially when he is able to be a little bit more forward. And Ricardo Santana is an aggressive rider. He actually broke on top last time, so I imagine he'll be into the race a little bit more today, Greg.
Yeah, see what happens here. 6-1, Emerald Forest with Santana for Charlie Baker, 8-year-old, who certainly struggled last time out.
He did, and obviously he runs that race. He has no chance in here. But his race 2 back and 3 back were just fine. His market was an overwhelming favorite that day. And the time before that, he was chasing 3 wide against a gold rail and finishing behind Dots Dollar. He ran fine. I like his chances today. I think he's an interesting horse coming off a little bit of a short layoff for Charlie.
Did you see any free squares on this card
No,
today?
I think this is a really interesting card. I mean, it's impossible to have a strong opinion going the 4th. You've got live-looking firsters. Any of the 4 firsters are dangerous. Neither of the 2 horses with experience have done that much running. The horse that I picked was scratched at miss, so it changed things for me. While I like the outside 9 in the 5th, I think the 2, the 7, 9, all horses that could win, even the 6 who improved last time. 6th race I thought was relatively wide open. No heavy favorite there. The 7th wide open. And the last race, we did see a couple scratches. Ticket to Ride scratching. I like the 8 Amazing Gracer.
Yeah, I do too.
If somebody said you had to lean on one horse, I would, but there's so many unknowns in there, including the 9 Soaring Spirit in the outside, who caught quite a heavy purchase price of not $350,000. I know Nyquist stands for a lot of money, but given the overall pedigree, that was a big price to pay for that horse.
So interesting sequence of the pick 6 that kicks off here. 5-2 favorite, the old veteran 7-year-old Dots Dollar, the 2. Trying to put that poor performance last time out behind him. And he had won 3 starts back. That was not a very good effort as well, and he bounced right back with a huge effort. So
yeah,
it's
he was very much with the racetrack when he won on February 4th, and I don't think it's realistic to expect this kind of performance. He can win, but he's not a horse that's had a lot of consistency lately, and I'm scared of him. He could certainly win, but as the board suggests, I don't think he's any kind of overwhelmingly likely winner.
You would think, I mean, obviously, he's quick early. He has that speed. They want to keep him sharp. That Bullet Drill, quickest of only a few that worked that morning, but the Bullet at 5 furlongs in preparation for this return here. And it looks like he will be the top choice on the board. Kendrick Carmouche for Gustavo Rodriguez as we get set to kick off this pick 6. But as we mentioned, there's speed to the inside, there's speed to the outside. So it'll be interesting to watch this race within the race early on.
Yeah, and it's hard to see a rider like Manny Franco when you're riding this sort of co-favorite or second choice, allowing Dots Dollar to control when you have some speed, and he's fast enough to be right there. So I think you'll see Manny be a little bit aggressive. And what else is Omar Moreno Hernandez supposed to do from the rail? He's got to go.
11-1 on Gray Wing, yeah, from the inside. Loading up, pick 6 starts here. Let's go to Chris Griffin for the call.
Emerald Forest, Screaming Uncle. Goes in, all set. And they're off. Slow beginning for Glint. Speed towards the inside from Gray Wing, and a challenge from Nabokov. These two are nose and nose, a pace duel on the front end. Screaming Uncle is just off of them in 3rd, and at the rail there's Dots Dollar in 4th. Another length and a half, almost 2, back to Emerald Forest, center of the racetrack, and he's got this. Far back, the trailer after the beginning is Glint. Gray Wing on the charge. It's Gray Wing who's up by a full length and a half. 22.12, the opening quarter mile. Moving quickly as Gray Wing into the turn. Nabokov is back for more, ranging up to the outside in 2nd, and at the rail, here comes Dots Dollar. Dots Dollar starts to move forward as a challenging 3rd to the outside, Screaming Uncle. Emerald Forest is trying to get rolling for the back end of the field with He's Got This, and far back, Glint. They're approaching a quarter mile left to go. Gray Wing just keeps rolling right along, and Gray Wing has a quarter mile left at the top of the stretch, is trying to shake loose. It's Gray Wing still with the lead. 44-4 was at half, and Gray Wing just keeps on going. Nabokov is trying to reel in that leader and is doing just that, and here comes Manny Franco on Nabokov. Nabokov has now wrestled the lead away from a tiring leader, and Gray Wing. Nabokov is opening up. Dots Dollar might get 2nd. Nabokov, a runaway winner. Dots Dollar did get second. Grey Wing, and he's got this.
Nabokov, Cantermachi, Barnmani. Franco goes off 3-1 favorite and gets the wing.
Stalked a crazy quick pace, relatively speaking, here, and was able to keep on going and just dominated Nabokov getting it done. Nobody from the back made any impact. My horse, Emerald Forest, was basically eased. He can't run at all anymore, but none of the closers, despite that pace, were able to make a dent. Maybe it's a forward horse, maybe it's a forward racetrack, or maybe it's just none of them were any good.
The only horse who closed was a speedster that didn't break well.
The two didn't break, Dots Dollar, and he sucked up for second, but I don't even know if he closed. He just kind of ran less slowly than the other ones down the lane. You would have thought with that pace, one of the 4, 6, 5, 6, or 7 could have made an impact. The best they could do was the 5 getting third.
3-2, 1-5 finish. It is the slight favorite to start off the pick 6. Nabokov, Cantermachi, Franco, 7-year-old son of Uncle Mo. We're going to take a timeout. We know Golden Tempo, the Derby winner, is passing on the Preakness, but who is headed to Baltimore? I'll tell you who right after a break.
Flightline is in full flight.
Flightline turns it on at the top of the stretch, and he's in cruise control.
And Flightline takes off!
Take a good look at this, because you're not going to see this too often, maybe never again. Flightline, 20 lengths clear.
World-class racehorse, world-class performance at a world championship event.
Live racing returns to Monmouth Park Saturday, May 9th with a 12:50 first post. Watch and wager on world-class racing from the iconic Jersey Shore each weekend, all summer long. Check out the country's best handicapping contest schedule at monmouthpark.com with a wide variety of tournaments taking place monthly. Joining us on site, lock in your odds with fixed odds wagering at Monmouth Park Racetrack.
Look at these two juveniles going at it, and it is Forte.
It is Forte in front. Forte on to victory here in the Grade 1 hopeful.
The two of them coming down to the wire. Forte on the outside, and Forte to win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Forte starts to gather in the top horses. This is going to be very close, but the champion prevails. Forte wins.
A provision in a bill passed this summer reduces the tax deduction for wagering losses from 100% to 90%. This unfair change would tax horse players on a percentage of their losses, could cost over $1 billion in handle, and threaten thousands of jobs in the racing industry. That's why the NTRA is fighting to pass the Wager Act, a new bill that would restore the deduction to 100%. Tell Congress to pass the Wager Act. Visit ntra.com/wager.
Here is War of Will, and he got through an opening on the inside of the gatepole. Owendale is storming down the center of the track, but it's War of Will coming down to the 16th pole in front by 2 lengths late. A late charge from Longshot Everfast on the inside too, but nothing stood in his way. War of Will won the Preakness.
Wow. That was his nickname. War of Will, Grade 1 winner on dirt, and later became a Grade 1 winner on the turf.
No, he's a key sort of pretty cool multi-dimensional racehorse who got it done in that race. And this year's Preakness is coming up wide open, and one thing about it is there is no dearth of speed, and I kind of wonder if after the race is run, if the connections of Golden Tempo are going to ask themselves, maybe we should have been in that race.
Silent Tactic, one who's going to be able to pick up pieces, certainly, if there is that hot pace. An incredible meet Marcassi had in Hot Springs. So names starting to trickle in of who is going to show up. Obviously the big one out there everyone waiting to hear about Crude Velocity.
He's not running. Bob Baffert announced he's not going to run in this race. So, in fact, we expect to see him up in Saratoga, you mentioned, for the Woody Stevens. So he won't be playing in there, and probably relief to everybody running in there. Makes him more wide open. But with Taj Mahal and Napoleon Solo at the very least, there's going to be pace in this race.
Is the door left open, though? Because he had said if he got a...
Came out this morning.
No, not for that race.
Oh.
Is
to stretch him out. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, but I did read in the same article that he was talking Woody Stevens. So I had heard the same thing, but Bob did mention the Woody Stevens. I would imagine the Haskell will be where he'll stretch him out. Bob has run a lot of horses there at 1 1/8 miles, and if he runs well enough, then he'd consider the Travers. But there's a lot of speed in there. It's going to set up pretty well for Silent Tactic. Thank you. I mean, he's going to get the speed to run into. I could see him being the favorite here for Mark Casse, couldn't you?
I guess so, right? With his resume?
Yeah,
and
especially.
with how it may set up for him?
Right, he's going to get pace to run at, and not a lot of overly accomplished horses going long in this race, and considering the following that Renegade has, the fact that he finished second to him is going to count for something, and I think Taj Mahal's an interesting horse, but Silent Tactic, man of the favorite. Mark looking for another win in the Preakness. He wore a will, I think he trained him, right? Mark.
You knew his nickname was Wow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's his initials. I'm slow. I'm not that slow. Well, maybe I am that slow.
All right, we're looking forward to seeing who else shows up when they finalize plans for that middle jewel of the Triple Crown. And then it is on to Belmont at Saratoga. We are, less than a month away.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, heading up there actually 3 weeks from this weekend. So looking forward to getting up there.
Going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you can join us too. We told you where to get those tickets. If not, we'll have coverage all week long right here on the program. Underway in the pick 6 with the favorite as Nabokov the win.
I mean, he just crushed these horses. He stalked a quick pace and he moved forward and nobody else did. There was no movement from the back. Maybe it's just a race where there were no horses running in the back that had the horse to move forward. Keep an eye on it going forward, though, if this is a track that's not particularly helpful to closers.
7th career win for this 7-year-old. Owned and trained by Ilke Cantermachi. And there's Manny Franco. Comes from off the pace here for this win. And pays $8.24 to kick off this pick 6. 3, 2, 1 in the third. Race 4 starts the late pick 5. And we begin sprinting on the turf, 6 furlongs over the outer turf in this maiden special weight. Nakoma, first-time starter. Jenna Antonucci is open as the favorite.
Yeah, did not take any money in the multi-race bets, and maybe that money's meaningful. This horse has plenty of pedigree to be a turf horse, so I could imagine Nakoma running. Yeah, it's the My Racehorse money. Good call there, thank you. As the 5 only for now, a firster for Miguel Camano, vie for favoritism with a horse whose name I can't pronounce on the outside for Todd Pletcher, but feel free to try.
Yeah.
Todd Pletcher's number 7.
Kataenho, maybe. But we'll leave it to Chris Griffin. We're going to take a time out. We'll be back. More coming up on the post parade from the 4th to start the late pick 5 when we return. We're 18 minutes away. Stay with us. We'll be back.
The sun shines bright on Caraconte. His first crops of racing age are showing brilliance on the racetrack with a high percentage of stakes winners. His versatility is evidenced by winners on all surfaces across the globe. It is all she feels pretty.
Yet another grade 1 for this magnificent daughter of Caraconte.
And his offspring are lighting up the sales ring.
$300,000, Emma, thank you.
Caraconte, standing at Gainesway.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime, including the second leg of racing's Triple Crown. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $25 free bet, plus $200 deposit match bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with daily promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Sign up now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit match now through the Preakness Stakes, only with Naira Bets.
RaceLens is the most in-depth product in horse racing, with unique features found nowhere else. True odds, predictive analysis, and pace projection. RaceLens. It will change the way you follow horse racing and take your game to the next level.
The Belmont Stakes Racing Festival returns for the final time to historic Saratoga Racecourse. Don't miss the Belmont Festival at Saratoga. June 3rd through 7th. Secure your place in history at BelmontStakes.com.
The Classic Sire.
.44.4 for that hot half-mile time, and now Solitude Dude is down to business.
And another terrific display from Queen Maxima. And a very special performance indeed out of El Potente.
Rude Velocity, a sharp 3-length winner of the Pate Mile.
Aqueduct is the only racetrack within the confines of the 5 boroughs of New York City and faced intense competition from several other tracks located in the vicinity. True to its nature, the racetrack not only survived, but thrived. Aqueduct underwent an extensive 3-year overhaul and reopened on September 15, 1959, to much fanfare, as it was one of the most modern facilities of its kind. In 1960, Aqueduct presented its first Wood Memorial. The race is New York's premier prep race for the Triple Crown and remains one of the track's signature events, along with the Cigar Mile Handicap and Remsen Stakes. Aqueduct was the first and only track to have a triple dead heat win in a stakes race when Brownie, Bousset, and Wait a Bit hit the wire in tandem. In 1965, it was the site of the largest crowd ever to witness a thoroughbred race at that time in the Empire State, when more than 73,000 packed the stands to see Gunbow in the Metropolitan Mile. The legendary Cigar began his famous 16-race win streak at Aqueduct. He scored impressively in the 1994 Naira Mile as part of that win streak. The race was named in Cigar's honor after he retired in 1997. The last racetrack Secretariat placed his hooves upon was Aqueduct. He was retired there before commencing his stud career at Claiborne Farm. Aqueduct was the second track to host the Breeders' Cup in 1985 and was one of the first sporting venues where Pope John Paul II held Mass in 1995.
So much history here at the Big A, and we're going to start saying our final goodbyes. We're into the final meet that will ever take place here. And the last 2 days of action here in South Ozone Park, New York, June 27th, 28th. Some special things planned. Hope you can come out and make it for the goodbye. We have Paul Verderosa joining us on set as well. I know you have come here quite a few times over the course of your career. We're all going to be sad to see it go.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's a place where I came and I grew up. It was an end to a means for me. It's a longer story as to why, but loved all my time that I've spent here from when I was a teenager, and it's going to be sad to see it go. It's one of the last kind of city racetracks, you know, true city racetracks that have been around, and the racing was always great. The wintertime was always fun, especially when you used to get on the inner track, and just a lot of good horses and a lot of good races through the years.
I just hope the Pope takes up our offer to come back, the new Pope, and do Talking Horses.
That would be great.
I'd love to have him on. So
that would be great.
Definitely, you know, I think make it full circle.
He is a huge sports fan. He seems like he might be game.
Well, from Chicago. He probably misses Arlington.
Yeah.
Why not?
We're going to get back to Laurel here in a moment. We're 3 minutes away from race 6, Mile on the Turf. In that race coming up, where you have the Late Pig 5. Coming up here in the 4th, 6 furlongs sprinting over the outer turf in this maiden special weight.
I can't understand. I'm sure Bay Street Money will come down from those odds probably in the last flash, but I don't understand how the 12 Bay Street Money, who has the best turf race of anybody in here and gets back to the right surface, is almost 20-1. That's nuts.
Yeah, especially considering last time you would think was a prep to get ready for this off the November layoff and just kind of toured the track. Now back against his friends in a good spot.
We're on race 4.
We're on race 4 in New York. We have race 6 coming up at Laurel. Those are the horses at Aqueduct for race number 4. We're on YouTube, so we can really do anything we want.
Okay.
We can swear. We can take our clothes off. Really, just go crazy.
Yeah. There's a first-time starter for the Miguel Clement barn, only for now. A not this time debuter. We'll have Manny Franco aboard.
We'll see if experience is the advantage in this race. I've picked this one on top on a guess here. Those not this times, they win every race they're in.
Incredible what he has done at stud.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He's a very good horse. Unfortunately, blew a suspensory in the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, solid as they come. And even the Dam only won, the only start that she made on grass, she won too. So
with a 68 Fire.
Joining us for the first time on the program, let's head downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Greg. Andy, please do not take your clothes off, even though it is YouTube, as we'll take a look here at number 2. And it does seem like the bulk of the play is going to the first-time starters. We'll begin with Nakoma as she makes her first start for Jenna Antonucci. And she's been primarily preparing for this first start down at Gulfstream Park. Had the opportunity to watch some of her workouts, and she definitely strides like a sprinter. Despite having a decent amount of size to her here in the paddock, she has been a little bit green. Now, obviously, some of the money that she's taking could be due to the fact that she is owned partly by My Racehorse. Looking at the pedigree, though, we love Vacomas. The Dam, she was unraced, and the best sibling, though, is Shareholder Value, who did win on the dirt, and there has been one turf winner out of 3 to try it, though the second Dam, a minor stakes winner on the turf. So looking at her, she does have the proverbial turf hoof, so I like her on this surface. Now, she does wear 4 wraps. It's not something you generally see when you're dealing with the turf, though she is wearing those, and she is a little bit green, maybe a little unsettled overall, so maybe just a start will be needed. And Jenna is one of those trainers that actually it feels like they get better with some racing experience. I like the way she's put together. She looks like one of those good Vacomas, but I'll take the wait and see approach with her. Now, Miguel Clement's number 5, only for now, does feel like, at least looking at these horses and observing for the short time that I have, 6 minutes, she feels like the one that is the most ready for this debut. She looks incredibly fit. She's been an utmost professional here. She came in wearing that kind of training saddle, which Miguel does send pretty much all of his first-time starters over. Just kind of gives that feeling of having the tack on them already, so therefore they're not shocked when they get that girth tightened around them. She's athletic. Like I said, she's very, very fit, and she suits the conditions well. She does have a turf hoof. There's not much pedigree, though the Dam won her lone turf start, which, by the way, was the Grade 3 matron. So I do look like only for now here as far as the first-time starters go. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you. 5-2. Only for now, as we get back to Laurel. Mile on the turf in this starter optional claiming race, where horse we are very familiar with from the New York circuit, who is the 8-5 favorite, Bar 14, 8-year-old now. 7-time winner of the favorite.
Paul and I were just talking about this off camera. He is preposterous, 8-5 shot. A need the lead type who lacks consistency, and while his good races are good enough to win, with the presence, Paul, of the number 4 Mason, I don't see him getting a comfortable lead.
No, his job gets a lot tougher, and he should show speed on the stretch out. And they tried rating this horse last time out, too, and that's just not the way that Mason wants to run. So should be able to sprint clear here from the inside, you would think.
Well, I do think they'll go with Bar 14, but what I don't understand is why Bar 14 is 9-5 in Bay Street money, who can't run in the dirt either, but has plenty of good turf races. Why is that horse 12-1? This, either he's the overlay of the century or they're telling you something.
Dave Rodman with the call. Here's race 6 from Laurel Park.
Mile on the turf rail, 35 feet, the Kelso Turf Course. And they're off. Class Photo gets the first call out of the gate, and Mazin stoking up some early speed as well. Bar 14 to the far outside, Like Believing in Magic. 4 of them sorting out now a trio into the first turn run. Mazin leads away a bit off the inside. Eager to go is Mazin, setting a quick pace. And opening up almost 2.5 now, 3 lengths. Unlike Believing in Magic in second. Bar 14 trying to rate back in third position. Same for Class Photos back in fourth position. Take it back about 5 lengths off the speed of Mazin. It's another another 5 lengths back. Bay Street Money is followed by The Last Sip, who's all alone in front of Catatumbo. After Catatumbo comes Cut the Cord, racing to the back of the pack, and Prince Kazan is trailing the field. So 25 lengths off that pacemaker. It's been a sharp one, too. Opening quarter win at 23 seconds flat. The half at 46 4/5 of a second. Mazin goes rolling right along. Bar 14 moves to second. And then outside his Class Photos in the clear from third position. Good striking range, trying to quicken up. Like Believing in Magic drops back and now passed by Bay Street Money. And The Last Sip is on the move in the far outside. They race to the top of the stretch. Mazin Bar 14. Class Photo right there with a winning shot. Got it to the outside. They're into the stretch with Bar 14 in narrow lead. And here is Class Photo up the inside. There goes Bay Street Money. Extreme outside. The Last Sip. It is Class Photo through the final furlong. Class Photo. The Last Sip on the outside. Class Photo. The Last Sip. It's going to be a photo with Class Photo. Class Photo. Class Photo holds. Class Photo from The Last Sip. Then Bar 14 or Bay Street Money closer. Shodo.
Class Photo with his 5-year-old return with the victory. Here's New Gelding.
Actually ran pretty well considering he was pretty close to that quick pace that kind of fell apart. So the 13 who actually came back to beat Bay Street Money. I thought I was stealing with Bay Street Money. Got a perfect trip and a good ride. He can't run anymore even though he just got photoed for third.
Yeah, he got flat down in there. But nice ride by Forest Boyce there because she was up and near that pace and she had enough just to last to beat a closing The Last
I would
Sip
say
there.
a good performance by the winner being close. Whether or not Forest was
Post parade, race 4, Belmont of the Big A in this 6 furlong maiden special weight sprint. Florida Patriot debuts from the rail.
Yeah, and this one goes out for Tom Morley. You don't think winning with a firster, but he can, and there's pedigree.
Nakoma for Jenna Antonucci debuts next door.
Not a surprise that a My Racehorse is taking some money in here, but does have some turf pedigree to back this horse up.
Turn back in distance for Angel's Envy.
Rob Atras, the trainer, 2 for 16, turning back on the turf with a 86-cent ROI. Horse has good races, but is she going to be effective sprinting?
Here's only for now the favorite, Miguel Clement, first-time starter.
Liked what Maggie had to say about her. I picked on top on a guess.
Time for you, Barkley Tag with Christopher Elliott.
Pick this horse odds up, has the experience, should appreciate the cutback to 6 furlongs here and getting back home to New York.
First-time starter for Todd Pletcher here, daughter of Intimis, excuse me.
Is it a positive or a negative that a daughter of Espresso Shot, her first fall is on the turf? Because she was a pretty good dirt horse. We'll see. Todd Pletcher's numbers with first-time starters, maiden special weights, and turf sprints, not very strong. And with 3-year-olds, he's just 3 for 25 with a 96-cent ROI and 0 for 8 at Nairo.
5 minutes away from this 4th. Again, starts the late pick 5 sequence. You could play it right there. Get signed up in Naira Bets. That's the offer with the Preakness coming up next weekend. $25 free play when you punch in Preak25 and get that $200 deposit match sign-up bonus as well at NairaBets.com. Let's go back to Maggie.
Taking a look at a horse who does have some experience coming by way of Florida for Barkley Tag is number 6 in here, Time for You, who does turn back in distance. Now, when she debuted up here, I wrote in my notes she was a bit green and also she was a bit bigger than her competition, and it just looked like she needed a little bit more ground to work with. Though she ran her fastest race to date now as a 3-year-old, going 2 turns on the turf there at Gulfstream. So she might be a little bit of that in-betweener. You know, she might be dying for the 7/8 or the 1-turn mile that we would be able to run at Belmont, as you know, just another reason to get excited to go back to Belmont when it reopens here in the fall. Because also, now looking at her as a nearly mid-season 3-year-old, she hasn't really grown. So she's a bit more shorter coupled. She hasn't kind of, lengthened that frame at all. So I actually don't mind her looking at her physically getting back to this 6 furlongs. Now, I don't love the way she runs. She kind of is one that runs with her head up in the air, even though she wears one of those shadow rolls. See, she's a bit high-headed even in the warm-ups now. I wish she would just kind of drop her head and level off a bit, but otherwise she looks fit, she looks strong, and maybe this 6 furlongs is what she wants to do. Then we'll take a look here at number 7, Cateno. I think that's how you say it. I agree with Andy. Why is Espresso Shots at first full running on the turf sprinting? She was best kind of 7/8 to a mile on the main track. And as first fulls generally are, she's a bit smaller. Espresso Shot was a big girl. I mean, there was a lot of her, a lot of scope as well. And this one is quite small. She also doesn't really look like your typical Todd Pletcher first-time starter. And even though she's been working fairly steadily from late February on to now, she just is a bit soft-looking. And I always feel like when Todd enters in a turf sprint, it's generally because he doesn't really know what to do. They haven't shown him an abundance in the morning to make him feel confident, choosing the dirt or choosing a different kind of surface. So we'll see. I know she's taking money. Could it be Flavien? Could it be Todd? The combination of the both. She just didn't give me the warm and fuzzies like the 5 did in her first start. Greg?
All right, thank you, Maggie, who is the 5, by the way, now 3-2 favorite as we get set for this start of the late pick 5. Paul?
Like Time for You. We talked about it earlier on Talking Horses today. It's a horse that, all right, at 5-1, maybe it's not as attractive as when this horse has run previously and been 16-1, 50-1. But you start to pick apart this horse's races. The debut got off a little bit slow, was pretty far back, made up a little bit of ground, didn't threaten in that race. They came back, they tried the horse on synthetic at Gulfstream, going a mile and a 16th, went out, set the pace, folded up in there. The cut back to 7.5, though, I don't think that she ran all that bad in February when you take into account that she broke well in that race, and they kind of strangled her back right away, and they got her in a pocket, and she closed up the inside. She was running with the horse and passed the horse that was on the lead, and then ultimately got passed by closers on the outside as the outside race flow developed and closers came and closed. So then they tried her shortening up 5. She couldn't make the lead going 5 on the synthetic at Gulfstream. Now she comes back here to New York, goes 6 furlongs. I think it's a little bit better spot for her. Hopefully she can find a nice little spot and be able to sit off of any speed that's in here and just make one run to the finish, because I don't think she's a bad horse. I just think playing her at 5-1 is not bad. I would have preferred 10-1 as her morning line, but she's kind of not really all that exposed because she's been a long shot in every race.
Well, she didn't do any running in her debut. The weird thing about that race, and I picked her second. I'm not disagreeing with you that she could win here. She hit the gate coming out at the start, and of course the chart callers at Gulfstream, who rarely seem to catch anything, missed that. She broke about a length slow because of it, and what surprised me about that race is she's still a little bit green. And for a horse with a good trainer like Barclay Tagg at that point in her career to still be green, he's going back to what he originally did with her. We'll see if it works out. I don't disagree. The experience may help her, and I agree. I don't know if she's ever expected to be that price. And don't forget, there's a scratch here, the 4 coming out as well, and we'll see what she does. I don't disagree. I don't think 5 or 6-1 is a bad price on her.
And she's starting to float up, so you make it.
I think that's a fair price on her. I don't think it was realistic to expect 10-1 on her. We'll see. I mean, I ended up going to the 5, but I picked at 5-6. I don't disagree with you. I think she's a little interesting. I just don't know how good she is.
That's it, right? Like, I feel like she just, in her both turf races, she's kind of had things go against her a little bit. Her first race wasn't that good. Her second race, she got taken back. Yes,
first
she was
race
in a good
was
spot.
bad.
Yeah, that's fair. And then she was in a spot where maybe she didn't want to be down inside, but she still ran down in there and just closers, dominated that race.
I apologize. The race she hit the gate was her debut. That's what I missed. Sorry about that. Not the Gulfstream race.
Even money now on this first-time starter for Miguel Clement, only for now, the 5.
Is it a function of her being good, or is the others not taking any money? Might be a combination of both.
There she is, stepping in with Manny Franco. Let's go upstairs. Chris Griffin, start of the pick 5 from Belmont at the Big A.
And Kata Enjo. Kata Enjo goes in. All set. Just reared up there only for now. They were set, but jockey is off the 5 only for now. Manny Franco getting back aboard. The 6-5 favorite on the board right now. We're set. And they're off, and off slowly was only for now. Time for You, right to the front, but quickest is Florida Patriot. And Ricardo Santana Jr. with a nose advantage. Just off of them is Time for You as a close-up second. In behind horses, that's Nakoma is in third. As they speed up the backstretch. Back and forth is Kata Enjo. Then Angel's Envy with the trailer only for now. They're set to move into the far turn, and 21-4, that opening quarter mile. Moving swiftly there is Florida Patriot, chased the entire time by Time for You. Nakoma is alone in third, starts to make up some ground, and Kata Enjo travels in tandem with Angel's Envy. Only for now, still the distant trailer as they get set to reach the top of the lane. Florida Patriot will hug the rail. Nakoma is now in pursuit as they split. Time for You drifted wide, and the leader starts to sprint away. It is still Florida Patriot finding plenty. Only for now is just picking up a ton of ground, and Only for Now is trying to rally on and reel in Florida Patriot, who's still in front. A 16th left to go. Florida Patriot, Only for Now, catching with every stride. Florida Patriot needs the line. It's a photo. Photo with the oncoming strides, Only for Now, and Florida Patriot.
What a performance. Only for Now, left for last out of the gate. Terrible beginning. Seemed like race over for the debut. Comes and runs down Florida Patriot for the win.
In a race where nobody else picked up an inch of ground in this race, this horse really was much the best. I do feel bad for Maggie with Tom Morley taking a tough beat with Florida Patriot. Did about everything he could do right to win a race and just got run down by a better horse, which sort of softens the blow, but it's never not frustrating to get beaten at the wire. And Florida Patriot ran a winning race in here, just happened to get unlucky and meet a horse that was very, very good first time out. This horse was never supposed to win this race. I mean, still a good 4 or 5 lengths back here, right?
It's amazing. It really, and it's funny because you turned to me at one point and said, boy, this horse is moving. He's best horse in the race, and more than better. Absolutely best. She was just absolutely the best.
If she came up a length short late, you'd say, what a huge performance.
Yeah, to see
would
this.
be a massive favorite. Next start, runs down Florida Patriot for the win after that awful beginning. This is potentially one with a lot of talent.
Well, I will say one thing. You better get this horse to get out of the gate, because you get into a non-winners of 1 and you pull those shenanigans, you're not going to get the money in here. But this was a very impressive performance to run down a horse that made his own trouble, and still her own trouble, I should say, and still got it done at 6-5. Tough beat for Tom and Maggie, who have lost more than their share of photos lately.
6-5, Only for Now runs down Florida Patriot, and it was impressive as well, the debut, but winds up for settles for second, I should say. 5-1-2-3 finish. Late pick 5 with the favorite, Only for Now. Impressive off that poor break to get the W here in the 4th.
This is a special place where champions from around the world aren't just celebrated. They're made into legends. With every turn, every wager, every photo finish, every garland of purple and gold.
They're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
When the Breeders' Cup comes back to Keeneland, it doesn't just crown a champion. It calls us home. The Cup is calling.
New York breds. Race them.
Respect them.
Bet them.
Respect them.
Breed them.
Respect them.
Buy them.
Respect them.
Train them for a second career.
Respect them. Join us in respecting thoroughbreds at every stage of life. Learn more at nybreds.com.
Gunrunner is the sire of 16 millionaires and 12 Grade 1 winners. Last year, he sired $17 million yearlings, including the Keeneland September sale topper. He was the sire of the $2.2 million Keeneland November weanling sale topper as well. Gunrunner was the co-leading sire of 2-year-old Grade 1 winners, including Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner Super Corridoro. Gunrunner, breed true.
Grayson Jockey Club Research Foundation was formed in 1940 with a simple goal: to raise funds for research to enhance the health and soundness of horses. Since then, we've provided millions of dollars to hundreds of projects at universities around the world, leading to major advances in welfare. Our process of selecting and producing peer-reviewed research has become the trusted industry standard. And with your help, we'll be here for many years to come, supporting the health and wellness of all horses.
Deep in the heart of horse country, from these Kentucky hills has sprung a legacy rivaled by few. From the all-time greats of yesterday to the breed-shaping bloodlines of today, our roots hold strong with the promise of tomorrow. For over a century, our passion has guided us to where we stand and everything we stand for. Claiborne Farm, the tradition continues.
Tomorrow on America's Day at the Races, join Megan Burgess and Paul LaDuca on track live from Monmouth Park opening day. Kick off day one of the winning season from the Shore's greatest stretch. Action begins tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern on FS1.
Back with you with Belmont of the Big A coverage on this Friday afternoon and the late pick 5 underway. What an impressive first-time starter only for now. Left for next time out of the gate, but somehow able to run down Florida Patriot off that poor beginning.
Yeah, amazing this horse was able to get up with a trip like that and was clearly best. Still frustrating if you bet the second place finisher.
Oh yeah, that's a tough beat to take, especially at 9-1. But boy, when she got going coming off that turn and into the stretch, and she ran down Florida Patriot in here. Did everything right except just win the race. Got to the front, was able to set the pace, shook off the 6, who was awful.
The lesson also, I think, from that race, and Maggie had hinted on it in the paddock, suggesting that Todd Pletcher often with his, running these horses sprinting, it's just, I mean, they are the lowest common denominator races, and when you're Todd Pletcher with that kind of barn to run there, usually a bad sign, and it was. What are you laughing at?
I'm excited to see her next time out.
She better break.
One start. Let's not.
No, I know. I'm just telling you. She's not going to get away with those shenanigans next time.
All right, leave her alone.
And in answer to Maggie earlier, Maggie, I'm definitely never taking my clothes off on set, but I am not wearing pants.
$4.66 for the victory only for now as we move on. I'll ignore that comment to race 5, 1 turn mile, 20 claiming race, non-winners at 2 life. Phillies, mares 3 and up.
So vain at 6-5. Didn't see that coming.
No, did not have that on my bingo card.
Off a maiden claiming win on a wet track.
Lady Wisdom on the outside will be the favorite by most.
Yeah. Early money.
But still, a lot of money.
We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back. Jamie Rodriguez, we promised you more. It's been a good move coming to New York, getting a lot of big opportunities. Certainly a rider on the rise in the Big Apple. Stay with us. We'll have his story when we come back.
A surging debut at 2, an international tour de force, an explosive winner of 2 sire-making Grade 1 races.
Raging Torrent running the race of his life, and Raging Torrent and Frankie Dettori cruise to victory in the Malibu. Raging Torrent's coming out party is in the Metropolitan Handicap.
Raging Torrent, the next wave in the Lane's End stallion-making tradition.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime, including the second leg of racing's Triple Crown. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $25 free bet, plus $200 deposit match bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with daily promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Sign up now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit match now through the Preakness Stakes, only with Naira Bets.
Some horses are remembered, other horses are passed down like an heirloom. He's the kind of horse that lives in stories, each better than the one before, hardened like a diamond and equally brilliant. He ran 3 straight years at the highest level, and he himself was elite.
Putting on a show in the Preakness. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be National Treasure.
National Treasure would not be denied. National Treasure wins the Pegasus World Cup. In the blink of an eye has opened up a 5-length advantage. So 1-horse race. National Treasure.
There's a brilliance in the way he moved and a tenacity in how he finished. By quality road with a wealth of family, and he raced like he knew it. National Treasure, the key to quality.
Passion, performance, and the pursuit of excellence.
At West Point, the horses are the heart of what we do. The partners really are the soul.
The bar that they set is different than everybody else. This starts and ends with the care of the horses.
This is a real immersive experience.
Jamie, we see you making quite an impression here in New York, winning races left and right. But many people might not know that you actually began your career here in New York 15 years ago. Talk a little bit about the early days.
I came in 2010. I came straight to Belmont. I rode in Belmont. We went to Saratoga. I was doing great and everything. And when we back to Belmont, I was a little bit frustrated because I was winning and everything like that. And I packed all my stuff. I got frustrated. I said, you know what, I'm leaving. And I said, once I finish riding, and then I just go back home or I going back to a different track and everything like that. And that day, I think I went forward. And then I came back home. I unpacked everything. My ego went up and everything like that, you know. We came here in the wintertime and we are doing amazing here. And I think I was leading Bug Boy. Ramon was first, I was second, and everything was going awesome.
After injuring his collarbone in December of 2010, Jamie spent the next decade riding at Tampa Bay Downs, Mahoning Valley, and Finger Lakes before finding his biggest success at Delaware Park and Laurel Park.
Chas Bullitt and Jamie Rodriguez. They're racing into history here at Laurel Park. It's a record-tying 7-win day for Jamie Rodriguez. Unstoppable Jamie Rodriguez.
You should be really proud of your accomplishments. But one thing that I've noticed that a lot of horsemen have noticed about you is your emphasis on teamwork, and that you like to go out, you like to work horses, you like to be familiar with your mounts from the morning to then get to ride them in the afternoon.
And I love it. Like when they tell me to work, I even told my agent, I say, I don't care, it can be cold, whatever. And I like that, you know, I like to see people, I like to see the horses that I work and everything like that. I never get scared of working.
Do you remember this?
My God, that's an old picture. Wow, that's Leah Grametti.
Yeah,
the great filly. Wow.
And it's going to be Greeley's Law. A decisive move by Jamie Rodriguez to the quarter pole.
It's been 15 years of starting proverbially at the top here in New York, and then having to slide back down and now work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next step up?
If everything goes the way it's going right here, you know, I would love to keep going with the me, Belmont, Saratoga, and then that's one goal we gotta finish. I got the support from the family. My wife always tell me, I say, you can do, and then we be behind you 100%.
How important is it to have the support of your family?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. My 3 kids, basically they're my engine, you know?
Yeah.
If I gotta go to another side of the world for them, I'll do it.
I love that.
It's good, you know, because the way they grow, the time go fly, you know, and every time that I got a little bit of time to spend with them, and I go and do, and then if I gotta go back to work, they even ask me, Daddy, you go back to work? I say, yeah, I gotta go back to work. When will you back? So I'll be back Sunday night. And it's awesome, you know, and especially the little one, oh my gosh. And the older one, that's me completely, the older one, completely. She jump horses and everything, like, I love it. Whatever they wanna do, I'm gonna be there, you know? But I'm gonna give them what I know how when I was a kid, you know, and I don't care how much expensive they are, you know, and if they are happy, I'm happy.
Good to see him happy and coming to the Big Apple and proving he belongs here, back where he started as a Bug Boy. Obviously dominated Delaware Laurel for many years and having a lot of success here in New York.
Yeah, he is. He's John Panagot, who's Manny Franco's agent as well, has his book and doing terrifically together.
Yeah, hard worker, a hustler, and he really gets horses in bad places, and that's I think one of the testaments to a good rider. They don't get horses in trouble, they don't get in their way, and he's had a really good winter here. Hopefully he can keep it rolling through the spring and summer.
We'll see him coming up on Carey, the 7 for Carlos Martin in this Fifth race, which will kick off the late pick 4. It's back to Laurel, though, right now. Race 7. 3 minutes to post. In this 6-furlong turf sprint, starter optional claiming field. It is the 9 Wonder Girl who is favored as we get a look at Beautiful Bolt from the rail for Kelly Breen.
Beautiful Bolt appears to have some speed, but there's other speeds in this race.
Dine and Dash, second try on the grass.
It got bumped around a little bit last time out, but had a comfortable trip after that.
After Neath, more speed here.
Yeah, this one could be the main speed in this race. We'll see how it plays out. Not one that I particularly like to win.
Instaparty, huge price.
Struggled here over the Laurel surface, 0 for 7 so far.
Fitness, cutting back in distance.
Just does not appear to be a turf horse.
River Tay, 3-1 right now.
Surprised this horse is a much bigger price than the 9 because they look like the 2 horses to beat.
Here's Getaway Palace, who's a 5-time winner on the lawn.
Should appreciate the drop in class in here today for sure.
Got a more aggressive ride today, maybe.
Yeah.
9-5 favorite. Here's Wonder Girl.
Yeah, I thought the 7 and 9 were the likeliest winners this race. Nothing clever.
And 7-year-old mare on the outside, Lady Zeta.
Been a while since we've seen her on the grass, but she does have 3 wins from 11 starts.
She's off the claim for Lacey Gadet. I actually think if you're looking for a price outside of the 7 and 9, the 10 is where you want to go.
Well, top 2 choices on the board getting reunited. River Tay, Wonder Girl. They met November 16th, and River Tay got the win.
I guess the advantage that Wonder Girl has is she has a race since then, and she ran back on April 25th. But I'm surprised that River Tay is a much bigger price right now. But I wonder by post time if they're the same prices. They are now.
Yeah, I think it'll all even out when all is said and done. And River Tay got so good, too, those final 3 starts of 2025. She'll have some pace again in front of her today. She's run fine short, so distance shouldn't be a problem for her.
She makes that big late run as she did here.
Exactly. You know, and she's able to get that done when she has the pace in front of her. Just Wonder Girl does have the start, as you said, and Wonder Girl's going to be more forward than she is. So
I agree. Wonder Girl has a positional edge on her. I agree. I think that's important.
And they're both 2-1.
Yeah, no surprise.
As we're a minute to post. Probables for the Preakness.
Is Kegasis going to be there, or is that Kegasis out? You played him one year, right?
I did.
Yeah, I think you were Kegasis once.
Golden Tempo waiting for Saratoga, of course, as you just told us a couple of segments ago. Crude Velocity waiting, and we'll cut back in the Woody Stevens.
Yeah.
Potentially we'll see, but maybe the Haskell.
I think Iron Honor will run better in here. He's going to have to find a different running style because he can't be forward with Napoleon Solo and Taj Mahal in there. Chip Honcho's another one who can be forward.
I'm excited about Taj Mahal. We're gonna talk Oselli. Surprise 3rd place finish in the Kentucky Derby, and the only Derby starter looking to return in the Preakness.
Yeah, he will still be a maiden after the Preakness, but he's going to get some pace to run at, and I respect him for at least coming back and taking a shot. The only Derby horse to run back, I just don't get it.
What do you think, Paul?
I guess it's just a matter of the quote that Whit Beckman said. You know, they're having fun. The horse is having fun. If everybody's having fun, why stop the fun? So they're going to give this horse another shot. What benefits this horse is exactly what you said. Hopefully there's an all-out send again in the first quarter to half of the race, and it will set this horse's late running style up. But I just can't see a maiden coming through here in this spot either with that group that's going to be assembled.
I guess Robusto is also running in there.
Yeah, finished, what, 14th?
Yeah, I had liked him in the Sanity Derby. He was dreadful. I'm not sure why Doug O'Neill sees. His race 3 back was pretty good, but he's also a forwardly placed horse in a race where being forward what could be problematic. At least with Oselli, he's a distant closer. He's also a mate.
As for Taj Mahal, punched that ticket with a Federico Tessio win, and that was a strange race, but showed enormous talent. Opened up 10 lengths on the field. They all caught up to him, and they took off again to win by 8 1/4.
And I liked the ride that day by Sheldon Russell, who did not want to take any prisoners, but it's going to be a little bit more congested up front in this race next time out.
7th from Laurel, 6 furlongs on the lawn, 9-5 Wonder Girl, the 9. The rematch with River Tay, who's coming off the bench, hasn't raced since that victory over Wonder Girl November 16th, as we showed you. Head to head again. Let's go to Dave Rodman for the call.
Getaway Palace next up. Wonder Girl is 2-1, 2-1 on River Tay. Wonder Girl. Insta Party. Lady Zeta. And they're off. Wonder Girl and Lady Zeta firing out to the lead, and Beautiful Bolt on the inside at speed 2, along with Dine and Dash, who's in the early mix, and Dine and Dash makes a dash for the lead from that group and opens a length and a half. Wonder Girl is now second, and on the inside is Beautiful Bolt afterneath, and some tight quarters there, so too. Beautiful Bolt got shuffled back. Lady Zeta is out of the clear, and here's Lady Zeta moving third within 2 lengths of the pace around the far turn. Getaway Palace followed by Beautiful Bolt, who drops back about 6 lengths off the pace. Insta Party is racing to the back of the pack. River Tay unhurried on the inside at the tail of the field as they reach the top of the stretch along with Fitness. They turn for home, a quarter of a mile left to go. Wonder Girl trying to punch to the lead from Dine and Dash, who's right there, and Lady Zeta toward the center of the track, and Getaway Palace is next. River Tay let loose to the center of the track. River Tay with a good final furlong kick. River Tay from the back of the pack is taking the lead. River Tay from Getaway Palace with a 16th to go. They skirmish to the second wire finish, and then it's back to Wonder Girl third and Lady Zeta fourth. It's going to be River Tay, Jorge Ruiz triple over Getaway Palace.
River Tay off the bench, that big closing kick, sprinting, very effective. She wins for the 5th time on the lawn.
So do we really believe that this horse just made up about 4 or 5 lengths in the last quarter mile, Paul, that came home in 23.18?
Yeah, I mean, they were not going fast early.
It appeared not to be. The times aren't fast. I don't get it.
The times are right. I mean, but she got a nice little trip. She was at the back of the pack. She found a spot inside. She got to split it. And when she saw open road, she just came late and got Getaway Palace.
Is there
late.
no
So a nice
run-up?
effort.
Maybe there's no run-up or something?
I don't know.
That's a bizarrely slow pace given the final time.
I also feel like the 9.
And, of course, coming from last.
Yeah, I also feel like the 9 didn't run that great either.
She was bad.
She had a chance to actually just do something there without that fast pace.
This horse came on around 22 flat, if you believe those. I don't.
7-8-9 finish as we get set for the pick 4 here at Belmont of the Big A in this 1-turn mile. For now, winners of 2 Life, Moonlight Gal, Barna, Chris Engelhart.
Well, potentially part of the pace.
Next door, Tehila for the Cantermachi Barn.
Well, needed drop here. It's clear she wasn't going to win a non-winners of 1. So good spot for her today. We'll see if she's got anything. Yeah.
Spirit of Esther, some speed here for the Cantermachi Barn.
So many seconds and so few wins, and has been in a lot of softer spots and still not able to seal the deal at short prices.
There's Rose Lisa, Christopher Elliott rides.
Yeah, those 39 and 29 buyers just aren't going to cut it in here on the dirt.
Lightly raced, all kinds of upside for Linda Rice, at least in terms of this group.
She's all upside, but she also shouldn't be 5-2 and likely won't be by post time.
48 buyer sheet on the front end. Last time out, it's going to be a tougher proposition today. So Vain, 3-1 with Dalila Rivera.
She ran exceptionally well last time out to get the job done in there. 3-1's a little short, but we'll see if she can run it back against winners.
That was on a sloppy sealed track that came off the turf that one. Here's Carrie, Carlos Martin Barn.
Yeah, she's way too big a price in this race. Now, her lack of speed is problematic, but she's not supposed to be 9-1. This is crazy.
And there's Jamie Rodriguez. We just had the story on. Lady Wisdom, Bill Morey Barn rounds out the field.
I'm hoping Manny gets good position if she finds her better races, and it's been a little while. She's the one to beat. She'll be favored by post.
So back to Nightscope. Still your mild favorite here at 3-1. Start number 2, led just about every step of the way for a victory on the stretch out to a mile in a state-bred 40 maiden claiming group.
Yeah, I'm not sold that that race was really that good. Now, for what it's worth, off the maiden wins in dirt race and claiming races, Linda Rice is 10 for 38, 220 ROI, but only 2 for 18 in routes, as this is a mile. Is she effective going long as she was here, Paul?
We'll see. The reality is, too, when you look at her second race and her win, it was Linda Rice's second time out, and you expect those horses to improve, and she did. She was able to get in front, and she had enough to get the job done in there. I mean, obviously, this is the right spot for this horse, cutting price tag in half off of that win, first time, first winners. I'm not sure she's going to get the setup she got last time. She's going to have to come from off the pace, I would think, in this spot. So that may make things a little bit tougher for her. But
you think she'll be off the pace?
You don't think the?
I think she'll be forward.
Spirit of Esther. I'm
not saying she's going to be in front, but I don't think that she's going to be.
No, she's not going to be way
closing.
out of it. But I would think we'll see what the 3 and the 6 do too.
Lescano back aboard for Linda Rice. Let's go to Maggie.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what, oh man, it just started raining a little bit, but I kind of agree with what Paul's saying. Watching number 5's Night Scope's last race, she kind of bounded out to the lead, immediately threw her ears up, and just got in this lovely rhythm. And kind of watching her as she finished up that race, she's by Galiliot. I can never say that sire's name right. Galilean. And she kind of moves more like a turf horse. So I wonder if, she kind of doesn't get to settle in a rhythm. She doesn't get to sit against the bridle. Is she really going to be able to, be as effective, finish as well as what she did in Breaking Her Maiden? I agree this is the next logical step for her in winning that Maiden 40 with a pretty slow figure. But she also kind of looks like a turf horse, too. She's kind of long, angular, tall and all legs. She looks great. She's a Linda Rice horse. They typically do, but I just don't see taking a short price on her against horses that maybe have a little bit more proven form. As number 7, Carrie, I kind of wanted to like. I think this is finally, we're being logical with her. She broke her maiden in a maiden 35, but she's going to stretch out for the first time here on the main track. Physically, I actually don't see any problems with her doing so. She is a bit of a longer tubular frame, but I just wish she was carrying a bit more conditioning. I wish she, I was really intrigued by her own form. I just wish she looked a bit better overall for me to take her. Ultimately, I did land on now your favorite at 2-1, Lady Wisdom. She's another one that does get a drop in class, so she's never been in for a tag before in her career, and it feels like they've exhausted all options with her. She definitely, I think, is best running long on the turf. That's exactly what she looks like she wants to do. She's moving beautifully. She's just a big, powerful-looking filly, especially against this group here. Liked her in the paddock, liked her even more when I saw her out on track, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you. 2-1 favorite there on your screen. There's Lady Wisdom.
She's taking a big drop. I don't blame him. She has been losing her form. Maybe it's a bad sign. I picked her. But I think the horse you like, Paul, the 7, is an overlay.
Yeah, this is a well-needed drop for Carrie, too. And I think you and I had seen the race the same way with just drop-down horses. Our biggest problem is just her lack of speed, but she's going to appreciate anything she can get up front. And she's come out of some fields. I mean, Pinky Briar and Purple Divine are okay. Daniela Marie's run well at times as well. So
her last race, muddy sealed track.
Yeah.
Maybe she's better in a dry track.
Yeah, so I mean, there's lots to kind of like about her. I just hope that she's a little bit more into the flow of the race this time.
She's not going to be. She's not a speed. She has no speed, Paul.
But I mean, I'm just hoping that she's, at least going to pick them up, and I think she should run a little bit better on the drop anyway.
No, I think she's an outrageously big price. I mean, I can understand wanting to be a wise guy with a horse like Sauvain if she was 8-1. I can't understand her taking all this money. Her last race was okay, but she feels to me like the last time was the time, and I don't understand Nightscope at this price. To me, it just feels like Linda Rice money.
Strange to see this much attention on the 5.
Yeah, she's just too slow to be effective in this race. I don't quite understand it.
I mean, she's interesting.
She has upside.
There's no standout here.
I agree.
But to be that price.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think a horse. I mean, I don't think that Leela, the 2. I think Tehila can win this race. She's another one with no speed, and at least she's going to finally get some pace to run at. And she hasn't had the best of trips and run well enough. It's not a very big price at 6-1, but I can understand the appeal of her as well. I like the 9 with a 2 and 7.
And I feel like too with Tehila a little bit too that it's just at least she's run third and wasn't beaten that badly in a couple of those starts before the last start. So,
and she didn't get the best of rides. Right. Now she's got that rider still riding.
So, well, we'll see what kind of movie he makes on her.
Well,
if it's like anything like
did win the last race with one of the all-time wildest rides you'll ever see. Yesterday's last was one not to miss.
What a head scratcher that was to close things out on Thursday action. Yeah.
I think the rider's back aboard, number 6, Sauvain. Probably thinks this race is about him.
Well done.
Nice.
2-1 favorite that 9 left-hand side of your screen. Just scoot it out of the picture. River Tay prices from Laurel, $6.80. Beats Wonder Girl again and does it off the bench.
Easily, despite a seeming lack of pace, though. I have some questions about that pace. To call up Craig Milkowski, the unofficial timekeeper for horse racing. Horse racing owes Craig Milkowski a great debt of gratitude for timing so many mistimed races over the years, or retiming so many mistimed races.
This felt like, even with the drop in class, it felt like a race where no one deserved to be 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 9 is going to be tough to beat in here. But I understand. I can understand not wanting to bet that horse 2-1. I'm not betting her to win. I think she's a horse to beat. It is tough to take a short price. I don't disagree. But how about the 9 at 2-1 versus the 5 at 5-2? Relative terms, the 9's a much better bet.
Yeah.
May not prove that way after the race, but I don't quite get all the money for Linda, but she wins an awful lot of races.
See what happens here. Race 5 starts this pick 4. 1 turn mile coming up. Let's go to Chris Griffin.
Rose Lisa. Lady Wisdom to the outside. All set. And they're off. Slow beginning for Tehila, the early trailer. Spirit of Esther with the speed. It's Spirit of Esther to the front. Nightscope is a close-up second to their outside. Lady Wisdom on the far outside is now challenging from third. Carrie in the yellow cap is in between rivals in fourth, and at the rail here comes Moonlight Gal. Just outside of them is So Vain. Going to take the overland route is on the far outside, Red Blinkers. The 2 at the back, it's Tehila and Rose Lisa. They work up the backstretch 23 and 4 for that contested opening quarter mile. Spirit of Esther with a head advantage to the inside of Nightscope, who's there, is stalking still from second. 3 wide is Lady Wisdom. Just off of them is So Vain. Starts to move off the far outside. Is 4 wide up the backstretch. Moonlight Gal, Eric Hansel, and behind horses in 5th. Carries to their outside. Tehila has caught that leading group, and far back the trailer, Rose Lisa, 46.50 the half-mile time, and 4 of them going for the front. Spirit of Esther holds the rail position. Nightscope is trying to make up ground, and all in Lady Wisdom, and 4 wide still. That's So Vain. Moonlight Gal has lost ground, is alone in 5th. Carrie is under the shove at the far back with Tehila. And the distant trailer still at the back end of the field. That's Rose Lisa. They approach the top of the stretch, and Spirit of Esther is still holding a healthy lead. It's Spirit of Esther who kicks for home. Sylvester Gonzalez and Spirit of Esther, Lady Wisdom, continues to chase that leader, and Moonlight Gal is unleashed here. Grandstand side the gray, starts to make up ground on a new leader in Lady Wisdom. Lady Wisdom, but Moonlight Gal just lugging in, is trying to catch this leader. A 16th left to go. Lady Wisdom is still there. Lady Wisdom extends again. Lady Wisdom, Manny Franco with 3 on the day. Moonlight Gal second, Carrie and Spirit of Esther.
Lady Wisdom, favorite with Manny Franco for Bill Morey.
Well, this is Manny, right? Yeah. Why does Manny win a lot of races? He rides a lot of good horses, but he also makes sure to give them their best chance. And in this race, putting her towards the front end certainly didn't hurt, Paul.
Yeah, especially when nobody was really going out for that lead in this spot. I mean, obviously, Spirit of Esther is always forward, and Nightscope was there as well. But
doesn't Spirit of Esther deserve to win a race?
Eventually, right? You would think so, just by the way this horse runs.
She always tries,
yes,
you know?
Yeah,
she's always out there trying.
She's always there, you know?
Just
but
can't seem to win.
This was a good trip for Lady Wisdom. Even the 1 ran well. Moonlight Gal, who was inside behind horses, came out and made a run, lugged in a little bit in the stretch.
And your 7 just had too much to do.
Yeah, too much to do.
She's just too slow early.
Yeah, and was under a ride for most of the race, too, after the half mile to get involved. But
so in other words, it wasn't Katie Davis's fault? Katie wasn't right. He's right in the 7th next
Yeah.
It was Rodriguez, not his fault. He tried when he could, right?
Yeah, favorite angle didn't work, I guess.
There's no speed.
$60,000 worth of claims in this race. 5, 6, and 7 all taken.
Oh, we wish you luck. Somebody claimed the 5 and the 6. Okay. Bye.
You don't get to leave just yet. We want some parting wisdom from you. What do you have for us?
I have to put my pants back on. My parting wisdom? Listen to Paul. It's my parting wisdom.
All right, Andy leaving us for the afternoon. We'll have more coming up after a short break. Stick with us. 9175. It's Lady Wisdom, the favorite here in the 5th. Belmont at the Big A. We'll be back.
to McMahon Thoroughbreds for 2026. Champion Uncle Mo's undefeated 2-year-old. Showcase, named a TDN Rising Star on debut, and winner of the Grade 2 Saratoga Special.
Showcase is a waiting racing room trying to get out of there, and Showcase gets out for a crack at first resort. Showcase lengthens his stride. He bounds home with plenty left. Showcase ultra impressive in the Saratoga Special.
Showcase, standing for $5,000 at McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds.
Gratefully, and Saratoga Special nose and nose for the wire. Gratefully, Saratoga Special, gratefully, would not be denied.
Welcome to Adelphi Racing Club's unparalleled partnership experience. Exclusive access to the backstretch at Belmont and Saratoga, premier accommodations on race day, and of course, experience excitement like no other. Contact us today to get a taste of the Adelphi difference.
Definitely the best horse I've ever had in training.
Sierra Leone has won the Whitney.
Sierra Leone, gun runner reaching for the wire. Sierra Leone does it in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Today was the day that he got it done. It was Sierra Leone.
Nobody wants to fall into a safety net, but when adversity or hardship presents itself, it beats the alternative. Since 1943, the Jockey Club Safety Net Foundation has been serving those individuals and families in need across every facet of the thoroughbred industry. Help us continue to be the safety net and catch those most in need. Visit tjcfoundation.org to learn more.
Racetracks, casinos, slots, superfectas, you can gamble from anywhere all the time. You've just got to ask yourself, should I? Take a pause to stay in control and think about how much time you spend gambling. A pause can help you determine if you're gambling because you like to or you need to. A pause can help remind you there's more to the moment than your next wager. Visit oasis.ny.gov and take our survey to see if your gambling is becoming more than a game.
Good to be back with you on Fox Sports 2 on this Friday afternoon. Gorgeous day here in South Ozone Park, New York. Live look at Aqueduct Racetrack, Belmont of the Big A. We're about 21 minutes away from race 6. We're going to show you what happened in the 5th just moments ago. We have action from Laurel as well. And we've got a 3-person crew here on the desk. Greg Wolf, Acacia Clement, Paul Verderosa. Good to see you both.
Nice to be here.
Always a pleasure.
Oh.
Preakness a week from tomorrow. We know the Kentucky Derby winner going to wait for Belmont at Saratoga. No Crude Velocity is going to head to the Woody Stevens instead. We'll take a look at the probables a little bit later on in the program. First, we're going to wrap up what you missed a few moments ago in race 5, the start of the Pick 4. And it was Lady of Wisdom, Bill Morey, Manny Franco went off the favorite with the victory.
Good ride by Manny Franco in here. You know, nobody really went out for the lead. Spirit of Esther always goes out to the front, but they were not blazing out there. He was able to sit just off those leaders and with them on the outside. Clear Trip was able to grind that horse down, put that horse away. I thought that the 1 Moonlight Gal ran very well, was able to be behind the pace runners, switch out in the stretch, kind of got to lugging in there. I wonder if the lugging in ultimately ended up costing her ultimately the win, but in the meantime, Lady Wisdom got the job done on the drop for Bill Maury in here, and I think that was kind of the way that we had seen it, that at least one of the drop-down horses was going to be able to perform well and get the job done.
So Lady Wisdom, $6.52. Yeah, facing easier. Getting her picture taken as a result. And yeah, big turnaround for Moonlight Gal. Last couple of starts stretching out. They did not go well. Today went much better. Carey completing that trifecta with a modest pick 5. As we take a look at what's ahead, presented by Claiborne Farm. Races 6 through 8 still to come. Fast and firm here in New York with that featured 7th race in Laurel Park. Races 8 and 9 there, fast and firm as well out in Maryland. We're on FS2 until 4 Eastern. And then back online, you can see us on YouTube, the New York Racing Association page, and the Fox 1 app. Play all the action, including the Preakness, Belmont at Saratoga, and Saratoga all summer long. Get a $25 free play in the Preakness when you punch in that code at sign up, Preak25, plus that $200 deposit match new customer bonus right there at NYRABets.com. So race 6, it is 18 minutes away here at Belmont of the Big A. 6 furlongs, fillies, mares 3 and up in this condition $20,000 claiming race. And Acacia, it's Amazing Dottie. Has had a ton of success at Finger Lakes with 9 career wins. Right now the favorite.
Yeah, and this is the horse that gets another drop in class after she finished 4th last time out for $35,000, pressing the pace setter. And she hung around okay, actually, given when you look at how Short Shift, who set the pace, ended up really kind of fading out of that race, but was off of a layoff as well. Amazing Dottie now making the 3rd start off of the bench for her. And again, another slight drop in class. We'll see if that helps turn things around for her.
All right, Paul, we'll get your... Oh, did you want to add something?
Nope, we're good. We're good. I think she said it all.
We'll go to Laurel. We'll give you an opportunity when we get back to Belmont in a moment. 1 turn mile in the 8th at Laurel in this $30,000 claiming race as they make their way on track. And a look at Love Me Not is going to get post 2 here.
Yeah, this horse for Jamie Ness has been running for $40,000. Very disappointing effort last time out. We'll try to turn things around with slightly lesser company.
The inside post will go to the 2 here, El Tin Marin.
Still looking for that first dry dirt track win. Has 3 wins on the turf, 1 on the wet. That's this horse's biggest problem. Otherwise, this horse has run well in spots.
Just claimed and hard to claim off of Jamie Ness, and that's the case here with Aztec.
Yeah, now in the Ferris Allen barn. Did run a very good race on a wet track going longer. 2 starts back. See if the new surroundings help.
Holy Synchronicity, 7-year-old, who's won 8 times in the career.
Here's a horse that I like today. Some rebound potential here. Got to be breaking well, be the speed of this race.
Biggest price on the board, Formal Affair.
Gets a slight cutback from a mile and an 1/8 try last time out, and a horse that comes from far off of it.
And the drop in class for the favorite, Outside Goodbye Note.
Sorry.
No, that's right.
No, you're evens.
Oh, sorry. Goodbye Note. 0 for 7 at the distance. For me, this is the biggest problem for this horse. This horse may be forward in here, but just doesn't seem to finish well going a longer ground.
6 minutes to post, 8th at Laurel. We'll have it for you when we come back from a short timeout. Just getting started on part 2 of our Fox Sports 2 coverage.
First again and again and again. First mission, 4 graded stakes. He made finishing first his mission, and all with big buyers. Now he's a Darley Stallion, and breeders are falling in love with him. Here's fabled horseman John Williams.
First Mission is an eyeful. He's beautifully balanced, and I love the way he uses himself as he moves.
Come to see First Mission and tell us your first impression. Consider it your mission.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime, including the second leg of racing's Triple Crown. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $25 free bet, plus $200 deposit match bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with daily promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Sign up now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit match now through the Preakness Stakes, only with Naira Bets.
Bright future indeed. Bright future, the son of Curlin to win by 4. Bright Future. Proxy, here's the line. Photo finish, Bright Future.
Bright Future, look at that. Bright Future, the class prevails.
Bright Future, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Announcing the Empire Trillium Series, a multi-year $3.2 million 14-race program at the brand new Belmont Park and Woodbine Racetrack, restricted to New York or Canadian foaled horses. This new event kicks off the day after Christmas with 4 two-year-old stakes races on Belmont's new Tapeta surface and continues all spring and summer through late July at Woodbine. The Empire Trillium Series. To learn more and enroll either New York or Canadian breds, go to NYRA.com/EMPTRI.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Back with you on our Friday coverage on Fox Sports 2. You're watching America's Day at the Races. We're about 3 minutes to post in the 8th at Laurel Park. We're about just over a week away from the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. Golden Tempo Derby winner going to wait for the Belmont at Saratoga. This is a look at the probables of who will line up in the Preakness, and some exciting names on this list.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to see Silent Tactic back. He was scratched out of the Kentucky Derby with a foot bruise, so pointing instead to the Preakness, not able to run in the Derby. So it's just bad timing, Paul. You just need a little bit of extra time for something like that. But I do wonder how good he is. However, looks like there could be some pace setting up in this year's Preakness.
I think that's the key for him, to unleash that kind of move that we see here in him winning this race. Worked today. They said he worked well enough, so still looks like it's a very strong possibility he's going to play in the Preakness. I think he also benefits from any pace scramble that we see in here. And I think out of a lot of the horses that we say that want to come from off the pace, he's probably one of the best or better ones in there that probably would be more reliable to give you that late move to get a win.
Could get a great setup. Mark Cassidy was winning, again, especially early on in the meet, just about every stakes race in Hot Springs, and this was one of them who had some big performances. And he is, with a lot of the big names passing on the Preakness, he's going to get a lot of attention in that race. Also, Crude Velocity, maybe the most exciting 3-year-old in our sport right now, is going to pass on the Preakness as well. Going to look like the Woody Stevens for him. I'm really intrigued by Taj Mahal, that performance he had in the Federico Tessio.
Yeah, he's very impressive, and he's 3 for 3. Laurel Park is his home base, and you know, it's interesting with those connections. You typically see the Avengers, as they're called, with Bob Baffert, and it looks like maybe a very good one might have slipped some way to end up in Brittany Russell's barn. She's done a fantastic job with it.
Yeah, she has, and she can definitely train one. And the Take No Prisoners ride was fun last time as well, with that horse opening up and then playing a little bit of catch up and him spurting away again. So there's something to be said, you know, for being home, a little home cooking as well. So, you know, we'll see how it shakes out. But I think he's going to have a busy time of it up front. But again, it's all going to depend on draw as well. We have to see where everybody draws, and we'll have to see also, too, who's in and who's out. That's ultimately going to decide.
I'll wait in the next few days and find out as things get firmed up who's going to line up in that middle jewel of the Triple Crown. Let's go out to Laurel, race 8 for this one-turn mile. 5-2, Aztec. As I say, that becomes your second choice. Oh, no, still your favorite. Sorry, 2-1. For Ferris Allen III. We mentioned claimed off of Jamie Ness, one of the top barns certainly on that circuit. How'd you view Aztec here, Acacia?
Not the easiest thing to do, not the easiest barn to claim off of. Ferris Allen's barn has been going well throughout this meet here, and lately this one has been running well on wet tracks, but has handled a fast track as well. I did think that the 6 Goodbye Note was a bit more interesting. He's just at least a new face dropping in class and has a little bit of speed, owned and trained by Hammy Smith.
I'll say this for Aztec. This horse got into really significant trouble not too long after the break. So I kind of feel like this horse deserves at least one more chance, even off the barn change, just based on what happened early on in that race for him. I just feel like I keep coming back to the 4 Holy Synchronicity in here, because I just feel like this horse has a little bit of rebound potential. Kind of got squeezed after the break, ended up being wide, did not want to be in the position that this horse was in last time out. Another horse that I think can rebound in here, so I'll take a little bit of the speed from the 4 and the closing of the 3.
And, Goodbye Note, you were just touching on Acacia, obviously dropping in class. Are you worried about the distance at all?
Yeah, the distance is definitely a question, as he has to go the mile in here today. He did run at the beginning of his career and was able to win going 1:70 at Delaware. So in the past has shown it, but lately has been sprinting. So I imagine with the stretch back out in distance, we are going to see him be forward, and we'll see if he can seal the deal. Just given what he's been facing and what he's running against today, I preferred a new face given that drop in class.
Well-needed drop,
yes,
too, for this horse, especially after 3 starts back. That's a race that he should have won, and he got collared and got passed late in that race. So definitely a well-needed drop. The distance is just really the only question for me with this horse.
Dave Rodman with the call. Here's race 8 from Laurel Park.
Holy Synchronicity, Formula Fair, and Goodbye Note. Mile second finish. And they're off. Holy Synchronicity and Goodbye Note breaking sharp at. Here's Love Me Not, sent up for early speed. Love Me Not, under a hard hustle early, is joining Holy Synchronicity on the lead, with Goodbye Note to the outside right there too. Elton Marin the Gray is 4th and 5 lengths off the early speed. Aztec racing to the back of the pack with Formal Affair, who's trailing the field. Holy Synchronicity, Love Me Not, hooking up in a head-to-head battle. They're an opening quarter, 23/4 of a second. Goodbye Note, reserved in third position, another 5 or 6 back. Elton Marin rail riding. They're followed by Aztec second to last, and Formal Affair is trailing the field, trying to rev up from the back. A sharp pace going. Holy Synchronicity, Goodbye Note, picks up in second, and then it's Love Me Not in third as they round the far turn through 1/2 and 46 in 4/5 of a second, with 3.5 furlongs left to go to the second wire. Formal Affair hard scrubbed and ridden along in between horses. Elton Marin, Aztec is trailing the field. A race toward the top of the stretch. Holy Synchronicity narrow lead. Goodbye Note from the outside. Goodbye Note trying to get by and presses on as they turn for home. It's Goodbye Note and Forest Boyce all of a sudden in front by 2. From Holy Synchronicity, another 7 lengths back, and Elton Marin at an even pace on the inside. Goodbye Note, 1 furlong left to go, opening up a 4-length advantage on Holy Synchronicity. Elton Marin is in third. Love Me Not 4th. Goodbye Note says, see you later, under Forest Boyce, or double for Forest Boyce. Goodbye Note, Holy Synchronicity, Elton Marin, and Love Me Not.
Goodbye Note getting easier company, and the distance no problem here.
Yeah, the class drop really made such a big difference, Paul. Sometimes even if they might be distance limited, just the fact of facing softer company versus what they've been running against, and as you said, a needed drop in class.
Yeah, and it also helped that he got a little bit of a battle in front between the 4 and the 1 as well. I thought the 4 ran exceptional in defeat. 6 got a good trip, dropped in class, got the win. I love Dave Rodman's calls. He's such a great guy. He really is. So, but no doubt about the winner at the end of the day for sure. 6-4 to the wire.
Goodbye Note is a 9-5 favorite in that 8th from Laurel. Bringing the prices momentarily. It's back to South Ozone Park. And a look at our current favorite here in this 6th race, 6 furlong sprint. Amazing Dottie, 9-time winner at 5-2 on the board.
I know that she does have quite a few wins. She's just been in pretty disappointing form lately. And she dropped in for the 35,000 last time. I thought, like I said, she hung around okay in that race to finish 4th. But I feel like she's got some things to prove here today, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to be different from the last time that she met with Short Shrift? She drew outside of her again. So if you believe the 2 is going to go, she's going to be in that spot outside of her again, and that may make her fold up her tent again, depending on how this race plays out. It's hard for me to take a horse that hasn't won here in quite a while.
Here's Miss Loud, a kick off the post parade, just missed by a nose for 16 claimers last start.
She ran really well last time. First off the claim for Rachel Sells. She was swapping leads in the stretch, but she just missed. She just kept grinding.
Short shift, the lead, and then got tired, but that was the first start back in a long time.
Yeah, maybe she needed that race off the layoff. We'll see who she is today at this point with the drop in class.
Big price next door in Savvy Sunset.
Did face much tougher last time out, so drops back to a logical level. Also gets a cutback in distance, which should help.
The favorite, 7-year-old mare, Amazing Dottie.
We'll see if they know in this spot, because I think she's going to have some problems with the 2 again inside of her.
Manny Franco aboard. Here's calling an audible.
Did finish second last time, but in a condition claiming race. These are open, or I should say slightly tougher company than she is facing recently.
Peak of Chic. First start since Saratoga early July last summer.
Yeah, this is my top pick in here. I just wish they would let her sit off the leaders when they come here instead of gunning her out there, because I think she's a better horse when she's got a target. We'll see today on the drop.
There's Moonlit Weekend for Joe Parker.
Was hustled forward last time in the same race. We're calling an audible, finished second. It's been a long time since she's seen the winner's circle.
42-1 on Santa Gata, just claimed.
Yeah, cut back in distance here. Got to go back to April of last year for the last win.
And Edis Strudis, 5-year-old mare on the outside for the Cantermachi barn.
Does pick up Edgard Zayas out of that same race that calling an audible comes out of. She actually beat Amazing Dottie a couple races back in March. I hope that we see her go back to being a little bit more forward and into the race than she was last time out.
3 minutes away, race 6. As we get into the final 3 on the card here coming up. Get a $15 bonus in your Naira Bets account when you bet $75 each on Belmont at the Big A and Santa Anita. Got to opt in for that promotion, but every little extra bit helps. Opt in right there at NairaBets.com. So back to Peak of Chic. Long time away. 13-time winner now, this 8-year-old mare, 5-1 on the board, Paul.
Yeah, she's got races that are good enough to win here, and she certainly faced better horses. As I said in the post parade, I just wish they would let her sit off the leaders and make this first run, you know, into the pace and try and hold off the closers. It seems like when they bring her here occasionally, like they just like, we're going to send this horse and we're going to get involved no matter what the pace scenarios, and I think she's better than that. You know, at the end of the day, I know they're dropping her in class, but she's had a couple of good works since she started coming back to the track to work, and I think the drop in class will help her alone. I'm just hoping this time she doesn't get hooked up with the 2 or the 4 in here. Just kind of sit off them and make one run.
Ran strong off the bench after starting January 11th at 24. Didn't come back till December. Ran a pretty good effort going to Maryland. Let's go down to Maggie Wolfendale for more.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Greg. As Peak of Chic, she's going to be my pick here as well. She just feels like she's the one that gets the most class relief, if you will. A lot of these horses have participated at this level or lower as of late, and while she is coming off a considerable layoff, like you said, she has shown that she can respond and run well off of the bench, and she looks it here. She is one that does tend to carry some weight and conditioning, but she looks really tucked up and defined for her. Excellent coat on her, as she has been prepared down at Parks for this return by Michael Moore, so it's not like she's had the luxury of being in Florida to get ready for this. Moving well out on the racetrack, and I think that it is fairly generous at 5-1 if she can get the trip that Paul was talking about. Moving on to number 2, that is Short Shift in here. Second time for Rob Atras, second time off the reacquisition for Rob Atras, if you want to say that, but she was with Brad Cox before this. So I've never really been, her biggest fan. Rob has her looking really well. I did not cover her April 2nd effort, so I don't have any notes to go back on and how she looked as far as fitness is concerned coming off the bench. She looks fit enough here. I don't know if I trust her, given how poor that effort was. Though it looks as though she'll be trying to run and gun from that inside post position. A horse that just kind of caught my eye, and she has run for less than this, but that's number 5, Calling an Audible. I know she took forever forever and a day to break her maiden. But she's been in okay form, relative to her. And last time I thought she was a little against it, as most of the winners on that card were horses that had the lead or were on the front end. She just really looked good warming up, moving well, and at this level, sometimes if you can hone in on those horses who look to be doing well on the day, they generally deliver. Greg?
9-1, yeah, calling an audible. Took her 19 starts to get that first win of her career. But then only 3 starts later, won again. As we go outside to Edith Strudis, this where you're winding up?
Yes, I agree with what Maggie and Paul are saying, and that with Peak of Chic and just kind of what we were talking about with Laurel, that sometimes just a class drop really does help. But I am hoping that she gets the right kind of trip, Edith Strudis, as I think that she's better when she's not so far back, and she doesn't really seem to kind of pick up her feet from there. And I feel like she has some dirtied up form. I saw Edgar Zayas giving her an aggressive warm up. I don't know if she still has it, Paul, but she is, well, she's 7-2 on the board right now, and it just felt like she was going to be posted up just off of those pace setters.
Yeah, I would think she's not going to drop way back like she did the last time in this spot, too. It's a positive rider switch no matter which way you look at it. And she does have a couple of races on her card, especially when she ran for 20 back here in November. That wasn't bad either when she finished second, missing a Proudfoot in there. So I think today you'll know, whether or not she's got anything left in the tank, especially relative to against this group in the pace scenario she's going to have.
She's the second choice on the board at 7-2. As we look at our favorite, Amazing Donnie, still the one to beat for the Chris Engelhart barn, Manny Franco, as we load up for race 6 and kick off our final pick 3 on the card. Let's go to Chris Griffin.
Yep.
And we see, Ryder wandering there in the background. So believe
It was the 8.
that we have a loose horse.
Raylu Gutierrez.
Let's go to Yes, go to Maggie? Okay, we're going to keep it here.
Yeah, the outrider went galloping by, and Raylu Gutierrez, that was him on the 8 there, off behind the gate. Didn't see, obviously, what happened, but assuming perhaps that his horse spooked, he got dropped. He was holding his shoulder, but looking like, thankfully, he's up and walking okay.
All right, so this one, as expected here, coming out. It should be pretty quick here with just one horse to move over on the starting gate, move that 9 inside 1, but they still need to catch up to this horse, obviously, and get that one safely back to the barn. So no Santagata this afternoon, who was a big price in the race, and everyone else will have to patiently wait here for the load.
I think the good news is you've got a lot of professionals here, so I don't think too many of them will get too wound up waiting, to get into the gate here. So that's the good news.
Yeah, a lot of these horses have run quite a bit, and unfortunately, when there is a loose one, we're not like in Europe where if they have a loose one, they can just go, or if they're taking too long to load, they'll leave you behind at the gate, because we go in an oval, we have to come back around, and it's all linked. It's not a straightaway, so they cannot load until they've caught the loose horse and are able to safely remove her.
Yeah, there is Santagata.
Oh, she actually got her reins caught in her legs, so that's a very scary situation. When a horse dumps the rider, the reins will flip over their head, and if they step into them, it can be very scary. So good to see that they've cornered her and have been able to safely apprehend her.
All right, good job of the outriders. Take care of that situation. And not much has changed really on the board. So your 4 remains the favorite. Seems like there's plenty of pace in this race.
Yeah, I wish I could have made a case for Miss Lau on the rail. She just doesn't win much, though. She's had some good trips, and last time out, I thought that she was going to actually get the job done, and then she just got picked off very late.
Meanwhile, back to the barn for Santagata. And we'll wait to play another day.
Good to see her safely picked up there. But yeah, Miss Lau ran very well last time. She just got beat. But it's been a lot of in-the-money finishes lately. And, you know, good to see that she's still running in good form, because for a while when she was claimed away from Dennis Allman, Andy's favorite trainer, I think Andy might have made enough money betting this mare at one point
said, yeah,
to potentially drop
horse.
a claim on her. But, you know, since she was claimed away, it seemed that she lost her form for a bit. And then lately, with multiple trainers, she's been pretty consistent, and Rachel Sells actually did back in to claim her again, and she ran well. It's just she hasn't been able to seal the deal in quite a while.
Did wake up, though, that performance a little bit last start.
She did.
She's 9-2 from the inside post against Short Shift, Pace, and one who tired late, going 7 furlongs off about 9 months away. So we'll see if that speed can last a little bit longer. Second off the bench. Set for the 6th. We go again to Chris Griffin.
Waiting on Moonlit Weekend. Set to move forward. Moonlit Weekend. Reluctant. Moonlit Weekend now in. Eddie Strudis last to load. Eddie Strudis and Edgard Zayas to the outside. All set. And they're off. Eddie Strudis broke with early speed, but Savvy Sunset from in between horses is quickest, and Savvy Sunset will show the way. Back in second, that Short Shift, joining them up the outside. Here comes Amazing Doty. Amazing Doty now a stalking second. To the inside is Savvy Sunset, the leader. Peak of Chic is 3 wide, making up some ground center of the racetrack, and Short Shift is back to fourth. In between horses, calling it audible. Now, under encouraging, Eddie Strudis is trying to make up quick ground through at 22.29, opening quarter mile. Towards the back end of the field, Moonlit Weekend is going to be second to last, and the trailer, Miss Lau. They're well into the far turn, and Savvy Sunset still there. Amazing Doty 2 wide, 3 wide. Here comes Peak of Chic with a move. Short Shift. Jamie Rodriguez, nowhere to go yet, is at the rail, is looking for a seam as they reach the top of the stretch. Savvy Sunset, and a big number is in front. Peak of Chic off the layoff, down the center of the racetrack, starts to roll. Short Shift has room at the rail, is trying to run on through. Trying to make up some ground too is Amazing Doty on the far outside. Here comes Calling an Audible with Eddie Strudis. Eddie Strudis with all the momentum on the outside. Here comes Eddie Strudis to push on by. Eddie Strudis is now up by a full length. Eddie Strudis with the win. Amazing Doty looked to hold second in a photo with Calling an Audible and Savvy Sunset.
Edith Strudis from off the pace with the win. Ilkay Cantor, Machi Barn, Edgar Zayas.
And Edgar did a good job with this mare. She was a little bit further back than I anticipated, but there was enough pace signed on, and it did develop there, Paul, and she just kept rolling late, and he kept after her, always keeping her engaged, which I think is the key with her.
Yeah, I think this was a big rider change and a factor of the pace also being there for this horse. So she still got it. She came down the stretch and she came and got them. Nice effort, though, from the 4, Amazing Doty, who's usually on the front end and kind of just made a run up there mid-race to sit second and ended up being second best on the day. So good effort all around, but nice effort by Edith Strudis to show she can still run a little bit.
Winds up second choice, 3-1. Nice call, Acacia. Have these prices when we come back. Growth equity for Chad Brown. Will he be Belmont Stakes bound? Big maiden win back in late March. And now a Grade 3 Peter Pan test coming up over the weekend. Stay with us. Back with you on our Friday coverage on Fox Sports 2. It's brought to you in part by Hillendale at Alapa. Race 6 in the books. We'll get to those prices in a moment. Let's look ahead to a big one coming up this weekend. It's our ABR Race of the Week, and quite often a stepping stone to the third and final leg of the Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes. Grade 3, Peter Pan. Field of 6 will line up. Actually, Bull by the Horns, I believe, is not going to run in the race, so likely be a field of 5. Growth Equity, we talked about going to break for Chad Brown. Acacia, very impressive maiden win back on March 20th.
Yeah, he did, and he's just coming in off of a maiden win and into the Peter Pan, so a tall ask here, but got an 89 buyer speed figure for this performance, and at Aqueduct going a mile, so we'll also stretch out to the mile and an eighth distance for the first time. But Paul, I'm sure something didn't go right after he debuted in July, and actually ran very well, I thought, down at Gulfstream too, and finishing second off the layoff.
He did, especially at a 7 furlong distance, and then to come back here, run the mile and dominate this field the way he did with the move that he made and was able to power away in the stretch. It shows you that the mile and an eighth shouldn't be a problem. Brings in the highest speed figure of the field, and I guess without Tariff Mindset, no, this is fine. He'll wave the barn flag very well in this spot, and I think there's just a lot of upside to this horse that we have not seen yet, and we'll see if we see it tomorrow.
5:11 Eastern, part of a sensational Saturday coming up from Belmont to the Big A. You can catch it all on our Fox Sports coverage. John A. Nehrude kicked off the stakes action. Ruffian, Take the A Train, and then the Peter Pan, which of course was stepping stone for Arcangelo to an Eclipse Award. Race 9, Edith Strudis. I'll let you take it from here since you had the winner.
Well, I thought Edgar Zayas made a lot of difference with this horse. He kept her engaged throughout the running of this race, and she did get the right kind of setup, Paul, but good to see her back in the winner's circle for the first time in over a year.
Yeah, well-deserved win for her and the connections that have had her, and the race just set up really well for her in there. And I was surprised, actually, to see Savvy Sunset outrun Short Shrift and also Amazing Doty in this spot. 6-horse made a little bit of a move into the race at the top of the stretch and flattened out. And nice effort, though, from calling an audible as well, too, who came running late, just couldn't get up there for second-place money. But no doubt about the winner, got the right trip, and this was the right spot for sure.
$8.54 for the win, owned by 5 Horsemen Stables. Ilkay Cantermachi, winning trainer, and Edgar Zayas aboard for the winning ride. Race 7, 6 furlongs. It is on the outer turf. New York breds. First level allowance race and one last knock. Carrie Bryan. A lot of runner-ups. 4 runner-ups in 6 tries so far.
Yeah, but she is now making her second start off of the layoff as well. She looked like last time out when finishing second behind Highway Harmony. Highway Harmony was just bet like she couldn't lose in that race, and she got the win. So in theory, she should be able to take a step forward second off the bench today.
This one coming up in about 17 minutes. Going to conclude our Fox Sports 2 coverage. You can continue to watch the remainder of this card over on the Fox One app and on the New York Racing Association YouTube page. So a couple options there for you. We are back with you tomorrow. Check your local listings. Acacia and Paul will take it from here.
The classic sire.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime, including the second leg of Racing's Triple Crown. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $25 free bet, plus $200 deposit match bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with daily promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Sign up now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit match now through the Preakness Stakes, only with Naira Bets.
Untimed workouts, limited crop use, and the only major U.S. 2-year-old sale held over a dirt racetrack. No other 2-year-old sale showcases each horse's natural athleticism like Mid-Atlantic May. Recent grads include graded stakes winners Explora, A Fine Chardonnay, Charlene's Dream, Ground Support, and Mendelssohn Bay. New year, new format, same quality. Fasig-Tipton Mid-Atlantic May 2-year-olds in training. May 18th and 19th in Timonium, Maryland. Where will you be?
Every 2-year-old champion has precocity, but only one can be called fierce.
Fierceness!
Brilliant at 2.
A powerhouse win!
Dominant at 3.
Fierceness is putting on a show in Hallandale today. Fierceness to win the Travers.
Tenacious at 4.
Fierceness has won the Pacific Classic.
All the makings of a champion. Fierceness. New to Coolmore America.
Watching America's Day at the Races. Thanks to those of you who are still with us here on the NYRA YouTube channel or Fox One app. We appreciate you sticking around. We'll be on YouTube throughout the rest of the show. Acacia come alongside Paul Verderosa, Maggie Wolfendale with us as well. And Paul, we're getting closer and closer to the 9th race at Laurel Park. We're also getting closer and closer to the middle jewel of the Triple Crown in the Preakness Stakes, which will take place at Laurel Park this year. A little bit of a wild year as far as the Triple Crown is concerned.
Yeah, really, you know, a couple of locations. Listen, you would have earned it if you were able to do it, but we're not going to see one.
Yeah, well, we'll meet the field for the 9th, which is sprinting on the turf. Here's Salty One.
Had a good inside journey last time out. We'll see if we could do the same again, but did improve in those turf starts from the first one to the second one.
First time on grass for the 2, Danny's Rhythm.
Not much turf pedigree to go on here, but did break her maiden last time out in the mud over at Pimlico, going at 6 furlongs.
Coming off of a win last time out, 13-1 right now on the board. There's Midnight Queen, first start since October.
Drops in class here. At least was up in range last time out early on before getting steadied out of there.
There's the 4, Disney Belle. Switched to the turf last time, so cutting back today.
Yeah, shortens up on the lead, gave way. See what kind of pace scenario shakes out for her today.
Bally Keefe, disappointed off the bench last time.
Yeah, but did win in the second career start, so maybe there's some hope today. Second off the layoff.
There's a favorite, Serene Spirit, second last time out.
Yeah, she turned around her form from a visual standpoint on the turf again. Can she do it and run it back this time?
And Awesome McKinsey cutting back to a sprint distance for the first time in the grass.
Comes out of a live race back in November. You just wonder if this is going to be a little bit too short for her ultimately at the end of the day.
That's the field for the 9th at Laurel Park. Back to New York, we have horses in the paddock for race 7, also on the turf here. Belmont at the Big A turf sprint as well for New York bred fillies and mares in this allowance. As right now it's One Last Knock, who is the favorite, and this is a horse who came off the bench last time, finished second behind Highway Harmony. As I had mentioned, Paul, Highway Harmony just had taken so much money as if it was
They knew.
They knew that she was going to win that day.
From start to finish,
yeah.
The way she took money. I also thought in that race last time out that Kendrick would have sent. You know, and actually and had more speed than what she actually showed. I'm sorry, my mic is like falling off. But the seconds are starting to get a little concerning. That's my biggest problem with her. But it's not like she hasn't run into horses that were good horses. So I just don't know if it was a factor of the horses she's running against or if it's just seconditis now.
There she is getting the tack on. Let's check in, get a paddock report from Maggie Wolfendale.
We'll take a look here at 2 Dave Donk horses that are actually trying the turf for the first time. Now, one would have to think that Floyd Joy, number 8 in here, Well, they were getting a race into her to prepare for a start like this, or I should say in a maiden special weight, but she jumped out there and she won on the dirt in her debut, despite having a predominantly turf pedigree, a daughter of Motown. The dam, she was 2 for 13 on the turf. 4 of the 6 siblings have won on the turf, and the second dam as well. So it was that, I remember when I first started here, they were all trained by John Hertler, the Tri-County Stables horses, and they were all turf loving. Generally, there were a lot of fillies and mares, but some geldings and colts as well. But she's a big girl. She does have a massive turf hoof on her. Now, I don't know. I believe Acacia did cover her first start, so maybe she can comment on how she was behaving. But she's gotten a bit hot and washy here, and obviously it's not that warm today. I don't love to see this with second-time starters, as she does come back here a month later, so enough time, but sometimes they get a little bit nervous in their second start, and then therefore they don't run as well if they've run well in their debut. We'll move on to Dave's other horse, who I find really intriguing here, the 13. As she is 12-1, Fed Up with the Fed. John Velasquez is tapped to ride him, or her, I believe. And, you know, looking at the pedigree, yes, Central Banker, not the greatest influence, but the dam, she won turf sprinting, and the lone sibling to try it did win on the turf. She has incredibly slack pasterns, very flat hoof to her, and despite being off for over 13 months now, she looks so fit, incredibly defined, really strong overall. I think she's very intriguing at what should be a big price, Acacia.
12-1 right now on the board. Maggie, thank you. More on these New York breds in a moment, but first they are loading at Laurel Park for race 9, the nightcap there in Maryland, and it is right now the number 7 Serene Spirit, who's still your favorite. Feels like she comes off of that good last race, but maybe some other intriguing new faces in here.
Yeah, I'm down on the one, Salty one in here. You know, last time out did get that good inside journey, but had to come off the rail, still won anyway, even though this horse ran into a little bit of a trip late. And I just think improved from that first start on grass to the second start on grass. Now try winners for the first time.
Going out for John Salzman from the rail and switching to the grass last time out as they go into the gate, sprinting on the turf for the nightcap at Laurel Park. Dave Rodman standing by with the call.
She's moving in now. Awesome McKenzie. Second finish, 5.5 of the Kelso course rail, 35 feet in line. And they're off. Disney Belle gets the first call from Danny's Rhythm as early speed, and Serene Spirit on the outside of the mix too is Ballykeefe the Gray. 4 of them right across the course there, the opening for a long and a half, and they charge for the turn. Salty One picks a good spot in 5th position alongside of his Midnight Queen in the clear. Awesome McKenzie just 1 beat slow from the gate is maneuvered over to the inside and saving ground some 9 off the pacemaker. Ballykeefe now the speed of the speed. Ballykeefe 3/4 of a length from Serene Spirit. Outside Salty One is stoking up a 3 wide bid. Danny's Rhythm is next, then Disney Belle. Awesome McKenzie, Midnight Queen last. Into the stretch, 1/4 of a mile left to go. Ballykeefe just hanging on to the lead. Serene Spirit now gets by. Serene Spirit narrow lead. Salty One. Disney Belle is trying to come back for more. In between horses, Disney Belle splitting rivals to run into the exacta with a furlong left to go. Serene Spirit, Disney Belle tenacious, and Salty One on the outside. They're nose to nose for second. Awesome McKenzie for a share 4th. Serene Spirit.
Serene Spirit, the favorite, delivers under Carlos Lopez, the horse you liked, and the number 1 Salty One put forth a little bit of a rally, but just too much as far as the favorite's concerned.
Yeah, the favorite was way too good. You could even see here, he's not even moving until they got to around this point and then set her down for the drive. She was too much for this group. She showed speed early on, was part of that little scrum until they sorted themselves out in just that second and took over when she was ready and got the job done drawing away. She's just too good for this spot.
Wins at 4-5, like a 4-5 shot should, as we head back over to Belmont at the Big A. Horses heading out. Just got the call for riders up for this New York bred allowance. That's a look at the number 5, Dancing with Destiny, making her 3-year-old debut for Mike Tini. And Maggie touched on a couple of really interesting Dave Donk runners in here. The 8 Floyd Joy. Unfortunately, I was on the set for her debut, so I don't have any notes of how she acted in the paddock, but I wrote down for my own personal that she moved like a turf horse, and as Maggie said, she has much more of a turf pedigree, so she's a generous price right now at 12-1. More on her in a moment. Let's meet the field, beginning with the favorite, though. One Last Knock.
Logical horse in here to be the favorite, now has 4 second-place finishes in a row off that maiden win.
Next will be the number 2, Disco Star. She ran pretty well in some stakes company throughout her 3-year-old season.
She did. She's just at the mercy of the pace here, probably going short, but she's run well. She just hasn't been able to get over the hump winning a stakes race, but this isn't a stakes race here, so she might find it a little bit easier.
Yeah, maybe some class relief will help. Boston's Finest getting a cutback in distance.
I don't think that was the worst effort that horse ran back in May of last year. The pace did kind of collapse in there, but still finished 4th, only beaten 2.
Another one that's been facing stakes company recently. There is Dancing with Destiny, as touched on, making her 3-year-old debut, so facing older for the first time.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Even when she ran 3rd in the debut against Sweet Montreal, it wasn't a bad horse. Going to show speed, I'm sure, with Paco Lopez if this horse breaks well.
She is 5-1 right now. Irish Fortune is next, first time on the grass.
Second Dam was a New York Bred Stakes winner, going longer on the turf. We'll see what this horse can do sprinting, getting away there quickly for in the warm-up.
21-1. There's Floyd Joy, as we touched on. Has the pedigree to suggest she'll like turf.
Yeah, we'll see where she comes from a pace standpoint, though, in this race, if that speed's going to transfer over to the grass.
Next in the post parade will be the number 12, Fifi La Fume, at a big price.
It's just 1 for 18 on this horse. Has had several chances at this level, has not been able to punch through yet.
There's the other Dave Donk runner, Fed Up with the Fed, big layoff.
I like this horse a little bit, the Dam one sprinting on turf, and it was a big price win coming out of the maiden race. It had some pace in front and came charging late.
There's Alpine Giant, 4-year-old debut for Jeremiah Engelhart.
You'd think this horse would be a little bit forward from the outside draw, depending on how the break plays. Didn't run that badly in the maiden win here last June.
And also from the Jeremiah Engelhart barn, out last, there's the 11 Sacred Goddess.
I like this horse today. Should appreciate getting a step back from stakes companies, run some decent races. I think it's a better spot today. And I think mile was way too long for this horse. And I know it was a slow, moderate pace, but this horse definitely wants to sprint.
Gets a cutback in distance as a daughter of Ken Tharos. You'd think she'd appreciate that. You can bet any track, anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Be sure to sign up today and get a free $25 bet and up to $200 deposit match bonus with promo code PREAK25. Get ready just in time for the Preakness. Enjoy betting on over 300 tracks around the world and start winning today. Join now at NairaBets.com. There is Sacred Goddess. Generous price at 10-1 right now on her.
Yeah, and when you take a look at this horse's past performances, just go back to the debut, and I know that this horse got a little bit lucky to win that race at Saratoga, all things being considered, but still managed to get up, get the win by a neck. It was a tough beat for Trinity Shuffle in there, but after that, where are you going to go with a horse like this? So you're going to put this horse into stakes races. There's no really non-winners of one that you're going to find, so after that, I don't think ran badly. Did improve, going 5.5 in the Bolton Landing. After that, tried again in the Joseph Gym after that, and then was open again on the synthetic at Woodbine. Just got bumped and steadied out of there. Wasn't this horse's best trip. And then the horse went a mile and was up on a moderate pace and backed up. This horse wants to sprint. I think this start off the layoff, Jose Lezcano has options on the outside today. It's a better spot as far as a field goes for him. Obviously gets to pick up Lasix as well. I don't mind layoffs for these kind of horses either from Jeremiah Engelhart. I think this horse is due for a good trip, and I'm willing to take 9-1 on a horse who's taken money in the past, and has run well.
9-1 right now on Sacred Goddess. Horses finishing up their warm-ups. Let's go back to Maggie trackside.
Taking a look at Sacred Goddess here. She was a 2-year-old report winner. As look at the bulk of her form, her best races came sprinting on the turf. She gets to do it again here finally after coming back now as a 3-year-old. Now she hasn't done that much running, and it's funny, looking at my notes going back to when she ran in that Key Sense, going a mile. She just didn't look good in her coat. It felt as though she was a precocious type that, probably the rest of her competition kind of caught up with her. But as Paul said, she was having to, go against some tougher fields. And the Joseph A. Jimma, she was wired by Sweet Montreal and then Open Company in the Bolton Landing. So, you can kind of forgive her, I feel like. Now, she's done very well as far as her coat's concerned. She's incredibly fit as well. I just wish she filled out a little bit more. And maybe it's because she's coming back here as a 3-year-old against some older horses that are just a bit bigger and more developed than her. So, you kind of get that juxtaposition in the paddock where you're like, oh, has she grown or hasn't she? Can't really tell. Obviously, you would hope there's another step forward in her physically as this year progresses into her 4-year-old season. But I do think at a generous 8-1, she is live in here. As we'll move on to number 5, that's Dancing with Destiny. Now, she's a shorter price than Sacred Goddess. They have a similar profile in the fact that they're both now coming back and making their first start as 3-year-olds, but Sacred Goddess did run considerably faster, I thought, in her races. But I will give Dancing with Destiny a good report here, as she broke through in her second start. She was so much more professional that day here at Aqueduct, and she was a lot fitter. And she comes back here looking just as fit, if not stronger, and she's got her wits about her. She's a lot more focused, a lot more settled, and just more athletic. That's what you kind of want to see from 2 to 3, especially turf sprinting. They don't necessarily have to get bigger. They just have to get more athletic looking as they develop into their racing. So this is a pretty wide open affair. I'm not ready and very keen, Acacia, to take 8-5 on One Last Knock. I thought there were several ways you could go.
Yeah, completely agree, Maggie. This is a really interesting race, including the 2 Disco Star, who I know you had interest in too, Paul. She comes back for her 4-year-old debut quickly. She's run some pretty good races along the way.
Yeah, 2 good sprint races, and then the last race before the layoff, she just kind of got lost early on, and that's not like her, so maybe she'll be a lot more closer today and a little fresher off the break, but she's worth a look.
That's a fun race coming up. New York Bred Allowance sprinting on the grass. Chris Griffin has the call. Race 7, Belmont at the Big A.
And they're off. Floyd Joy breaks with early speed, but Alpine Giant to the far outside is quickest, and Alpine Giant on the front end. In between horses, here comes Dancing with Destiny. Dancing with Destiny now wrestles the lead away. Irish Fortune is a close-up second. 3 wide is Floyd Joy. Up on the far outside, Alpine Giant, no cover, is now slipping in behind this leading trio as they work up the backstretch. One Last Knock is now in 5th. Is followed to the outside by Boston's Finest in 6th. At the rail in 7th is Disco Star. Then in 8th, having a check and steady in behind horses towards the outside. That's Fed Up with the Fed. Towards the back end of the field, Sacred Goddess with the trailer, Fifi Lafume. 21.77 for that opening quarter mile. Dancing with Destiny, tried to catch a breather. Here comes Irish Fortune back for more. Lugging out there and bolting here on the turn. That's going to be Floyd Joy. Down the center of the racetrack, here comes Boston's Finest after the leader. Dancing with Destiny is in front. One Last Knock is looking to the inside. Boston's Finest in pursuit. Now switching to the outside was One Last Knock for a stretch run. Grandstand side is Disco Star as they swarm this leader. Here comes One Last Knock in between horses. Kendrick Armouche now sprinting clear. To the outside, Disco Star is second. One Last Knock. The favorite gets it done. Disco Star was second. Then came the run from Boston's Finest and a late run from Sacred Goddess.
And after all that, it was, in fact, the favorite, the number 1, One Last Knock. She definitely benefited from getting that start off the layoff.
Yeah, I think she definitely did. And also, too, she got the right setup in here as well. Was able to get that seam. And it's funny, she had to kind of wait and then go around your retiring leader in the 5 to get the job done. Disco Star didn't run bad, came off the turn wide and had some run, but just did not get to save the ground that One Last Knock did until the very last minute to make that move and a late run on the outside from the 11 in there as well. We saw the 8 kind of bolt off the turn, so we kind of got an idea of how she was taking.
Yeah, she bolted. It was a bit odd. The Floyd Joy on the turn, she didn't handle the turn. I couldn't tell if it was horse or rider or what took place at that point, but she did gallop across the wire, so she finished the race and did seem to be okay. But yeah, sometimes that happens when they switch surfaces for the first time. Maggie had said she was a bit agitated back in the paddock, and maybe she just kind of spooked herself on the turn there, not handling things well and bolting. But your favorite certainly handled everything well. One Last Knock with the victory. Kendrick Armouche in the saddle, 1-2, and a photo for third. 8-5 shot with the win. One last knock, second off the layoff, breaks through to get the second win of her career in this New York Bred Allowance. We'll take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll bring you prices and more discussion as to what's coming up as far as the rest of the Triple Crown season is concerned.
Quality Road, proving Lane's End's tried and true stallion-making tradition. Quality Road has sired multiple Eclipse Award and Grade 1 winners, including Champions National Treasure, Corniche, Abel Tasman, and recent Grade 1 winners Hope Road and Clicquot. He's a leader of his generation. Quality Road, a stallion that stands above the rest.
44-4 for that hot half-mile time, and now Solitude Dude is down to business.
And another terrific display from Queen Maxima. And a very special performance indeed out of El Potente.
Crude Velocity, a sharp 3-length winner of the Pate Mile.
Cyberknife was a very talented horse from day one. A very gifted, fast horse, a lot of speed, able to carry it around 2 turns. Looks a tremendous amount like Gunrunner, same ability and talent, beautiful physical, outworked every horse on the board. Holds the track record in the Haskell. He won it in impressive fashion, beating a very good group of horses.
And Cyberknife has won the TVG.com Haskell over Tama. Jack Christopher finished third.
The Arkansas Derby was one of his best. Showed how much talent he really does have and stamped himself as one of the best 3-year-olds in the country.
His name is Cyberknife!
Cyberknife ranks up there as one of the most talented horses I've ever had in training. Multiple Grade 1 winner, brought it every time you let him over there. Excited about him passing on his durability, his soundness, and his talent. And if he does, he could definitely be a breed-shaping stallion.
It's just super exciting.
This is a real immersive experience.
It's the respect from the outside that they get, but along with the way that you feel when you're part of it.
High-class horses, really big races. We want you to be behind the velvet rope.
The bar that they set is different than everybody else, and it needs to raise everybody together.
Your job is to show up and have fun. We'll take care of the rest.
Tomorrow on America's Day at the Races, join Megan Burgess and Paul LaDuca on track live from Monmouth Park opening day. Kick off day 1 of the winning season from the Shore's greatest stretch. Action begins tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern on FS1.
You're watching America's Day at the Races as we take a look into Central Park. The Turtles enjoying the sunshine today.
Love them.
Peaceful little spot.
Yeah, right? Nobody bothers them. Except those kayakers that are out there or in their little boats, rowboats.
Well, this is the Turtle Hangout. Of course, our program brought to you in part by Naira Betts as One Last Knock heads into the winner's circle. She delivered as the favorite. She was second off the layoff and just took a step forward off that second place finish.
Yeah, it was the most consistent runner coming in. You know, even with all those seconds, even from a figure standpoint, was just running basically the same race, but faster figs than a lot of these have done most consistently, and fell into the best trip that she could. You know, in this spot behind the speed, was able to save ground on the inside, and then Kendrick had a decision to make. Where's this 5 actually going? And tried the inside route first, but then was able to get out right there quickly too, and not get up on heels even faster. And once she got the split though, she was gone and probably best in here. Disco Star just didn't save enough ground, I don't think, ultimately.
Disco Star is talented. She just doesn't win that much.
Yeah, I kind of feel like now
she's got a lot of close finishes.
Yeah, I feel like now it's going to be like next time I see her, I'm probably not going to pick her. Yeah, like one of those deals now that we're 1 for 11 at this point.
5:52, One Last Knock gets the job done as the favorite. Boston's Finest was the one that checked in third with that photo. So we'll follow along with one race to go. Here's the late pick 5. Biggest price so far, Edith Strudis. It's been a pretty formful sequence.
It's funny, earlier today on Talking Horses, Andy and I were talking about how like races 6, 7, and 8 were probably like really good betting races. You could find your price in there. On paper, they looked really good. We were waiting for them, and you got, you know, second choice and a favorite in those races. So sometimes it just plays out that way, but on paper, it looked a little bit more interesting, I think, than it turned out on the track.
Well, good luck if you have one more race to go coming up for the nightcap here in New York with race number 8 on deck. We'll take a quick time out, and as mentioned, we will continue our discussion of what's coming up with the stakes action this weekend in New York. It's a massive day as Saffie Joseph Jr. will look to continue his streak in the Ruffian. More on that field after this.
Gunrunner is the sire of 16 millionaires and 12 Grade 1 winners. Last year, he sired $17 million yearlings, including the Keeneland September sale topper. He was the sire of the $2.2 million Keeneland November weanling sale topper as well. Gunrunner was the co-leading sire of 2-year-old Grade 1 winners, including Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner Super Corridoro. Gunrunner, breed true.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime, including the second leg of racing's Triple Crown. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $25 free bet, plus $200 deposit match bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with daily promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Sign up now to claim your $25 free bet and $200 deposit match now through the Preakness Stakes, only with Naira Bets.
Prince of Monaco's Too Good for Moose, an impressive winner of the Best Pal. Miramondi's All Hot, but Prince of Monaco Too Good.
Prince of Monaco, standing at Claiborne Farm.
New York breds. Race them.
Respect them.
Bet them.
Respect them.
Breed them.
Respect them.
Buy them.
Respect them.
Train them for a second career.
Respect them. Join us in respecting thoroughbreds at every stage of life. Learn more at nybreds.com.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
But here comes Solomon Angel, who's ready to pounce on the 24-1 shot, is about to surprise Randomize towards the outside. Randomize has got to dig deep, and Solomon Angel at 24-1 has run right on by. Solomon Angel, Trev McCarthy, big long shot, wins the Ruffian easily.
Looking back on the 2024 Ruffian, Solomon Angel was a big long shot, pulling a massive upset that day, but she would go on to be very good, and in fact a Breeders' Cup winner as well.
She would, and I forgot that she started 42 times in her career, almost in an era where you don't see horses make that amount of starts, you know? And I remember that day too when she ran huge at a big number. So, but turned out to be a really good horse at the end of the day. It didn't start out that way, for sure. It took her a while, you know, to get it underneath her to get going, but she sure did.
Yeah, it took some time for sure. She won the 2024 Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Here's a look at this year's field for the Grade 2 Ruffian, going a mile. And Saffie Joseph Jr. will send out the horse at 6 to 5 on the morning line in Eunomia, as this one won a stake at Colonial 2 starts back, finished second behind Alpine Princess by just a neck in the double dog dare at Keeneland last time out. So slight cutback in distance this weekend.
Yeah, but she still ran a huge race, you know, in defeat last time. The barn's rolling, and She's going to have to find that effort again, but honestly, if you go back to her last 5 starts and she got back on dirt, she's just run fast races, and she's run well and performed well. So maybe all along, now they've got it right. She's back on dirt, and she's ready to go. We'll see if she can fire that kind of effort here, going the 1-turn mile, but I don't see a reason why she can't, especially with the way she's been running lately, because she's pretty handy and tactical enough that, you know, she can be placed anywhere.
Yeah, that's a good point. She does have tactical speed, which should help her. You could say the same about the Chad Brown runner in inefficiency, but she is far more lightly raced, just having started twice, both of which were impressive open length wins. Now the water gets much deeper.
So first time out, you look at her, it's a Chad Brown runner, it's in the slop, it's a mile, she's able to get in front. She pulls away late. All right, she ran well. We'll see where we go from here. Can she repeat it on a dry track? I thought she even ran better second time out because she sat a couple of lengths off the lead, managed to blow by the leaders, and just went by rolling in the stretch and got the job done. She's going to get tested now, obviously, you know, in this spot, especially if Eunomia shows up with her better race, but she's made it easy, you know, in her first 2 starts, and she's got plenty of opportunity now and plenty of upside, you know, to make it happen. It's a pretty cool field because you've got Dry Powder, who's wheeling back off a short effort and a no-show effort in the La Troyenne, and Irish Maxim is going to bring her speed with her as well in this spot. Yeah, so I think you got a nice little race setting up here, you know, and we'll see if the Chad Brown runner or any of the Saffie Joseph runners can step themselves up and stamp themselves now going forward.
Definitely looking forward to it. The Ruffian will be a fun one, I agree. We have 4 stakes on the card on Saturday. The Ruffian, along with the John A. Nehru, take the A-Train and the Peter Pan. So be sure to join us. It'll be a jam-packed Saturday. It'll be a lot of fun. Of course, the Peter Pan, the local prep for the Belmont Stakes, as Arcangelo took that route just a couple years ago, winning the Peter Pan and then going on to win the Belmont Stakes. So always fun and interesting, and anything that has anything to do with the Triple Crown at this stage of the year, everybody's eyes are going to be glued to that.
Yeah, it's fun now because, you know, we build up to it, and it always goes quick. You know, we get through the winter, and then we get to the Triple Crown races, and then you start to think of, you know, the Travers and the second set going into the fall, and who's going to step up, who's going to take a step back. It's always fun. And even a race like the Nehru is fun, too, because you get, like, horses like Full Moon Madness, who's like a pet of mine that I love seeing race all the time, and going to rematch last year as well. So should be fun. Should be a really good day, and hopefully we can dodge the rain that we've been dodging for the last few days, because we have gotten lucky, you know, as far as like what they've said for yesterday and today. So hopefully tomorrow we can do it again one more time to get, you know, fast conditions in for this card.
We'll certainly hope so. We'll take a quick time out. We have the nightcap coming up from Belmont at the Big A after this. That's a look at the number 8, Amazing Gracer in the paddock, who is currently your favorite at 2-1. Coming in for her 4-year-old debut. More on the Friday finale after this.
Say hi to our new stallion, Highland Falls. From his winning debut to that spectacular Jockey Club Gold Cup.
It is Highland Falls. He wins another one, this time the Jockey Club Gold Cup.
Even his buyer was high. The race his sire made his own by a widening 4 lengths. A host of Grade 1 winners far behind. High and goodbye. Running a 107 when second in an All-Star Whitney. The rise and rise of Highland Falls. High class, on the track and on the page. This is his dam, winning the Acorn and then the Distaff. Aim high. Breed to a well-bred son of Curlin. Highland Falls, new to Darley.
The Belmont Stakes Racing Festival returns for the final time to historic Saratoga Racecourse. Don't miss the Belmont Festival at Saratoga. June 3rd through 7th. Secure your place in history at BelmontStakes.com.
Standing at McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds, top young stallion Solomini, a Grade 1 son of Curlin and sire of 2026 graded placed New York Stakes winner National Identity.
Inside the final furlong, National Identity. Acoustic Ave is making up some ground. National Identity is almost home. Acoustic Ave second. National Identity wins the Safe Florida Ascendee.
Solomini, standing for $7,500 in 2026 at McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds.
It's lights out, locked, pouring it on, running aggressively through the stretch to win by 7 easy lengths.
Here is Locked, racing by on the outside for the lead. Locked, the wine steward, it is Locked.
Here comes Locked after Mulligan. Locked catching with every single stride, and Locked will win the Cigar Mile.
It's all about Locked, dominating the big cap, cruising home to an effortless 8-length rock.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, brought to you in part by Gainesway Power, Passion, Performance. As we have race 8 coming up on the turf, New York bred maiden special weight. Some interesting first-time starters, a lot of first-time starters in this race as well.
Yeah, I think it's the case of those with experience and if you want them, and especially the 8-horse as opposed to, and even the 10's interesting as a long shot we'll talk about later, but then also the first-time starters, which I think there are quite a few that have some breeding and that are interesting.
Yeah, first-time starters and first-time turfers. Maggie, a lot going on here in the nightcap.
Yeah, and get to focus in on those ones, Acacia, as we'll begin with number 9, a first-time starter from Miguel Clement, looking for another debut winner on the card. And number 9, Soaring Spirit, she is the daughter of Nyquist. The dam, she did win sprinting on the turf, though it was a very slow figure. But as she is half to Bostonian, who started his career guns a-blazing for Wesley Ward, but that was sprinting on the dirt. Now, this is obviously doing the opposite of that, going long on the turf, but at least physically, exactly what she looks like she wants to do. I mean, she's got some size to her, she's got some scope, she's been very confident in the way that she has acted throughout her time in the paddock. An aggressive demeanor, but not, exploiting that, not too revved up, just really nicely on the bridle, responding to her handler's cues, looks incredibly fit here. She does feel like the first-time starter that you want. I mean, she just looks ready to go, and she fits these conditions so well, despite not having a pedigree that screams it. So I like Soaring Spirit. As we'll move on to Pelican Pride for Cherie DeVoe. Slumber, what a sire he's been. For not having covered many mares, he does hit at 18% with his horses going long on the turf, 11% with the older debut runners. Looking at this pedigree though on the bottom, there is not much turf pedigree whatsoever. I mean, if you go back a generation, actually the dams have to a Grade 1 winner in Japan on the dirt named Danon Farrow. Pelican Pride, not the biggest type. She is just smaller, shorter coupled. So if she didn't have Slumber on top, I'd be a little bit hesitant to recommend her in this spot. But she does have the proverbial turf hoof to her, and she's been so professional here in the paddock. Just really calm, acted like she's been here, done that before, and she's never been in New York. She's been in Kentucky preparing for this effort here. So I always pay attention to whatever Cherie, our Kentucky Derby winning trainer, brings to the plate here, especially when they're making their first start. Jeremiah Engelhardt, he'll send out one trying the turf for the first time, and that is number 7, Bose Bella. Well, Bo Liam has not been a great influence on the turf. In fact, of his progeny, only 1 of 38 have won on the surface. But this guy does have a pretty nice pedigree in the pedigree on the bottom side for the turf. The dam, she went 2 for 8 on the surface, and she is a half to multiple stakes winning New York bred Works for Me, who is duly talented on both surfaces, but I've always thought that turf is best for him, and she looks like she should appreciate this switch. And I think she's been in some decent maiden special weights for New York breds on the dirt. So while she is wearing a hood here in the paddock, Maya saying that she can have the propensity to be a little nervous, she has not done so whatsoever. So the hood, any extra precautions they've taken have done the trick for her, as she's very relaxed. She looks incredibly fit here, and I do like this condition for her. Even the stretch out, Acacia, I think will be within her wheelhouse.
Pedigree to suggest that she'll handle it. Maggie, thank you. An intriguing prospect there is the co-favorite now, an Amazing Gracer, as she comes back off of the layoff and had a couple of near misses before being sidelined back at the end of 2025.
Yeah, I thought she ran well in her 2 races, the one at Saratoga and the one here, and nothing Katie Davis did wrong by any means in either one of those spots, you know, and Starship Pegasus ended up wiring the field in her start here in October. Off script, came back and won on the dirt, the race at Saratoga. Willful Mama wired the field that day, so I feel like she was kind of just a victim of circumstance that happened in races with the pace flow, and she still managed to close in both of those races. Today you pick up Jose Lezcano, and I scratched into her. I'm not going to say that I had her on top. Originally I did have the 2 on top because I was just hoping for a better trip, but the 2's not going to play today. But I think with of the horses that have run and that have run on turf, you know, by far, she is going to be the horse to beat from a standpoint of having run on the grass already and what she has done. I guess the question is she going to be able to have enough pace to set her up, or will we see a little bit fresher horse for her and she'll be a little bit closer early on, because honestly she hasn't shown that much speed.
A lot of new faces in this race coming up in race 8 tomorrow. Of course, we have plenty of exciting stakes action. That does include the John A. Nehru Grade 3 going 6 furlongs. Here's a look at the field. 1/900, the morning line favorite, as comes out of a race in the Tom Fool that Full Moon Madness also ran in. It was a little bit of an oddly run race, I thought, in that Tom Fool.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like here when you watch, you know, 1/900 taking over, the leader's like, okay, this shouldn't be a problem. Like, you know, this horse is long free, and then you could see on the far outside gobbling up ground, he's going to get caught eventually. I also feel like in Full Moon Madness's case, he always shows up more times than not with his race, and you know what you're going to get out of him. I just feel like he got the lead there and kind of just got picked off ultimately late by the last move was the right move in there. I love when you can get a group together like this Acacia of hard-knocking horses and they all have a shot. You can make a case for basically all of them on the line tomorrow, and that's what you like to see in races like that.
You definitely can, and there's some really cool horses in there. I agree.
For sure.
Back to the nightcap here in New York. Got the call for riders up. We start to make our way out again on the turf for this New York bred maiden special weight favoritism, going back over to the 8 now momentarily. There is the 3 Big Jackie though to kick off the post parade, and here it's the rail. First time on the turf.
Yeah, the daughter of Aunt Babe's going to give it a shot after 2 double-digit defeats sprinting on dirt.
Big price on the board right now. There is Cherie DeVos first, her Pelican Pride.
Wild stat for Cherie. 1 for 41, 4 in the money. First time starting 3-year-olds routing on turf. You would think that was
interesting,
not true, but it is.
It's a very interesting
crazy
stat. He's another first time starter, Little Finch.
I don't see much on turf pedigree to go on here, but we'll see. Javier Castellano sticking around, pick up the mount.
Is a daughter of Constitution. There is Felixson stepping up in class now in the Tom Worley barn.
Yeah, did wipe out quite a number of horses, but at least has the benefit of a win. Everybody, though, ran back except the last place horse regressed in that field.
See how she stacks up here. There's Bose Bella getting onto the turf for the first time.
Should appreciate it. 2-time winner on the turf for the dam, second dam, as well as one on grass.
Amazing Gracer with the turf experience.
We'll see this time if she gets a fair shake, or will she get wired for the 3rd straight start.
There's first-time starter Soaring Spirit, daughter of Nyquist.
I think figures pretty well in here. Looks good on track as well. Nice temperament. Watching that there.
She's a very cool filly to be around. And there's Encantar as this one gets onto the turf for the first time. I know you thought this one a little bit interesting.
Love the way you rolled on that and said that. That was cool. She might benefit from the switch on turf here, especially since she ran well in her debut on and off track. She made up some ground there, passing some horses late. And we've seen Dave Donk before, you know, put these over at decent prices, and the dam is a turf horse.
Yeah, this one always thought that she might appreciate getting to the grass. She's a generous price on the board right now. You can bet any track, anywhere, anytime, including the Preakness Stakes with Naira Bets. Sign up today and get a free $25 bet and up to $200 deposit match bonus with promo code PREAK25. Enjoy betting on over 300 tracks around the world and start winning today. Join now at NairaBets.com. Tomorrow, just 1 week until the middle jewel of the Triple Crown. Horses warming up out there on track. Let's go back to Maggie.
5-2 on your favorite Amazing Gracer. I've tried her a couple times in the past, and she has run well as she comes back here for her 4-year-old Bow. She looks incredibly fit, much like she did before she went away for the break. So looking at essentially the same kind of filly. I haven't noticed much change in her. The biggest change, obviously, getting Jose Lezcano in the irons. Not that Katie really did anything wrong per se. It's just Jose a little bit more established overall, and especially on the turf is where he has done some of his greatest work. And, you know, last time she was saving ground, she kind of picked her way through the field to get forward in the stretch, but ultimately would just prove to be, I would say, third/second best, because she just lost the bob for second, and Starship Pegasus was able to wire the field that day. So I think she's logical. I'm going to try to beat her, but not with anything real creative, as I picked the first-time starter to her outside Soaring Spirit. But number 6, Felixen, here, she debuted in a maiden 32, and she was 44-1. Now, she blew the break, so she was out the back, but then she got to save ground throughout, and she kind of cut the corner. She had to wait for room, then making her own room and, you know, kind of herding out 4 other foes. She was DQ'd and put 6th and then elevated to 5th because of the second place finisher being DQ'd for a positive test. So look, I don't know how she classes up. You know, it is her first start against New York breds. I don't love the quality of field, as Paul kind of hinted at, that she debuted against, but it could have been a bit of a learning curve. I'm not going to be surprised when this gal needs a little bit more seasoning. You know, she was really green actually with the pony when she first came out. Now, luckily, linking up with the pony, and I know she's been around ponies. She's a good size. She's nicely put together and fairly athletic. Great coat, very fit. So we'll see how she just classes up in this field, taking on New York bred maiden special weights. Acacia?
She's definitely interesting. Maggie, thank you. Yeah, it was a bit of a wild race that she did debut in, multiple disqualifications taking place. But, you know, and I've said this before too, I know it technically was a maiden claiming race, and as Maggie said, it is her first time against New York breds, but sometimes you'll see those turf races, and I think it's either surface, but especially you'll see it sometimes with turf racing down at Tampa, that the figure won't come back as fast.
Yeah.
And as they move forward in their season, whether it's the horses improving with racing or just as they go to another track into tougher company, you see them actually, they do stack up well. You know, you think of a lot of top barns that start their, in particular, turf horses at Tampa at the beginning of the year.
Right, and we say that all the time. We look at, once in a while, you'll see a Chad Brown runner or some other horse, and the figure comes back a little lighter than you thought. All of a sudden, they come up here, and they run like gangbusters. So I think Ricardo Santana Jr. fits a horse that's still green like that, or may have those issues perfectly, because he's pretty well adept at being able to sense those things and get these horses in the right position and not make them, you know, over exaggerate the problems that they're having. Let's put it that way from a greenness standpoint. So definitely interesting. Definitely rare you find 2 disqualifications in one race, and you find yourself getting put up after you were disqualified as well. So you don't see that very often, but why not? You know, in a race like this, why not? And you can see, because the horse is 5-1 in here, because you really don't know how the first-time starters are going to run. You don't know how the 8 now, a 2-1 favorite, is going to fare, especially if the pace does not develop in front of this horse that this horse needs. I still come back a little bit to the 10 on the outside. We'll see if she benefits from now a switch over to the turf, and just the way she ran on the off track and looking at her, I figured she was a little bit more turfy. So we'll see what we can get out of her from there. But listen, we have said the last 3 races, you know, pick your price. They seem like those races, and the favorites have run well. So I will not be shocked if the 8 runs well in here as well. And getting back to the point that you were surprised about, I was surprised as well too. I mean, obviously Cherie's horses will probably take a little bit more money now that she won the Derby as well. So when they see that for a while, they'll take it. But I found that for a trainer that wins early, that she was just 1 for 41 with only 4 in the money, by the way. First time starting 3-year-olds routing on turf. So it's kind of like a nuancy stat, but just rare to see for a barn like hers.
But, you know, stats like that are often very helpful to handicappers as well. So that's why we look at the stats. That's their purpose at the end of the day. Daughter of Slumber, who has been a prolific turf sire. Loading in for the nightcap, New York bred maiden special weight. The fillies in the spotlight here. Chris Griffin has the call one more time today in New York.
And they're off. Big Jackie broke sharply from the inside, and in between horses, here comes Bose Bella. Felixson is in the early mix, and from the far outside, there's Encantar. Bose Bella, Junior Alvarado has the lead, very keen in the early stages, is tugging here Junior Alvarado with a neck advantage. Encantar is now a close-up second. Felixson is back to third. Also very keen is Soaring Spirit, wants to do more in fourth. Just behind them, there's Amazing Gracer, throwing the head around just to the outside here of Pelican Pride. The two towards the back, Big Jackie, after breaking sharply, is second to last with Little Finch, the trailer. 22.77, a pumped up opening quarter mile for Bose Bella. Hard to Relax on the front end is still a half length in front of Encantar in close pursuit. At the rail, Ricardo, Santana Jr. and Felixson, they're in third. They're now a half length in front of Soaring Spirit in fourth. Just behind them, Pelican Pride, John Velasquez watching the action from fifth. To their outside, there's Amazing Gracer, Big Jackie, and Little Finch, still the trailer. Now tightly packed here towards the front end as the leader, Bose Bella, with a nose advantage. Now making a neck as Encantar tries to move in closer. From the outside, here's a move. Amazing Gracer is now with a rush, 3 wide, coming after the leader into the turn. Felixson is tightly at the rail, Soaring Spirit in fifth. Little Finch has made up a lot of ground from the back end of the field, and Little Finch is all in. Pelican Pride now gets the cue, is going to hold that position 3 wide. They get set to reach the top of the lane. Encantar is now looming up to the outside of Bose Bella. Bose Bella battles on Encantar and Amazing Gracer. Pelican Pride is commencing a rally from the back with Soaring Spirit. The leader is Encantar. Here comes Amazing Gracer in close pursuit. Soaring Spirit in between horses. Pelican Pride trying to straighten up and lift late. Encantar battles on towards the inside. Here comes that late run from Soaring Spirit. Encantar won it over Soaring Spirit. Then came Pelican Pride and Amazing Gracer.
Encantar, first time on the grass, maybe in contrast to the last race, that this filly really took to it and appreciated the surface switch for her 3-year-old debut.
Yeah, Dylan Davis, nice ride here. Let the 7, Bose Bella, who was in front, not really get that far away, kind of stood in her hip pocket and, you know, asked this horse to go, and this horse did go, turned away an early move from the 8 on the outside, but the first-time starter for Miguel came calling.
Yeah, Soaring Spirit, she ran well
she was in a little
between
spot.
horses.
Yeah,
it
she ran
She
good.
just took a little bit of time to kind of get her feet underneath of her from there. But
that's
yeah,
good experience for her for sure, being in between horses and everything too. Just came up just slightly short, but ran a good race. But nice finish for the 10 in here. At least I have a little bit of pride with that 14-1 shot
no,
there.
you absolutely should.
But
she was
good
a generous
effort.
price.
I just like that she actually showed speed in here again and was able to just sit just off of the leader in here in this spot and just had enough to get it done. I thought it was good that she didn't go after it. Interesting move from Jose Lezcano too on Amazing Gracer. Made that early move.
Yeah.
The pace, I mean, they slowed it down in the second quarter, you know, but I don't know about that big move because she ended up ultimately flattening out late in the stretch. But I don't think you guys will have a maiden much longer in Soaring Spirit after that effort for sure.
Yeah, she's a very nice filly. But Encantar with the win. She appreciated the surface switch and really moved up, getting onto the turf. 10-9, 4-8, 14-1. That'll definitely help if you were playing that pick 5 with some formful races. Got a price here in the nightcap.
Gunrunner is the sire of 16 millionaires and 12 Grade 1 winners. Last year, he sired $17 million yearlings, including the Keeneland September sale topper. He was the sire of the $2.2 million Keeneland November weanling sale topper as well. Gunrunner was the co-leading sire of 2-year-old Grade 1 winners, including Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner Super Corridoro. Gunrunner, breed true.
Untimed workouts, limited crop use, and the only major U.S. 2-year-old sale held over a dirt racetrack. No other 2-year-old sale showcases each horse's natural athleticism like Mid-Atlantic May. Recent grads include graded stakes winners Explora, A Fine Chardonnay, Charlene's Dream, Ground Support, and Mendelssohn Bay. New year, new format, same quality. Phasing tipped in Mid-Atlantic May 2-year-olds in training. May 18th and 19th in Timonium, Maryland. Where will you be?
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
You're watching America's Day at the Races. Of course, we are just a little over a week away from the Preakness Stakes, but we're looking ahead to the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival, June 3rd through 7th, to be held for the final time in Saratoga. You don't want to miss it. Check out belmontstakes.com/tickets. And looking like we'll have the top 2 finishers from the Derby meeting up there.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a really great field, and it's always a great week of racing top to bottom. So hoping all the stars come out to play and everything goes well.
Between Golden Tempo and Renegade, both pointing to the Belmont, and of course all those undercard races that are not really undercard races, are big races in their own right. That Mile in particular seems like a really good field, so it should be a lot of fun.
Should be fun. Woody Stevens too.
Yeah.
Look at maybe Crude Velocity showing up there, so it should be good. If he runs there, it's gonna be a handful.
Yes, he will be. He will likely be a very short price. Here are some key dates, though. Once we get through Saratoga and the Belmont Fall Stakes schedule, opening day of the new Belmont Park will be September 18th. I'll have the Jockey Club Gold Cup you can watch on Fox Sports, and just seeing a lot of those historic races back in the Belmont Fall calendar, kind of where they should be, and just a lot of excitement with the brand new Belmont Park to come.
Yeah, there is always, it's just a great time always at the Fall at Belmont. I don't think that's going to be any different with a new facility.
Encantar pulls the upset in the nightcap, appreciates the surface switch to turf, and gets the victory with Dylan Davis in the saddle.
Yeah, it took over, right about here as they come off of the turn, and, had the 8 to the outside, the 7 to the inside still, but Dylan was still sitting pretty chilly until right about here. He decided to let her go, and she was able to open up, and she did just enough to hold off the first-time starter in the 9. Came up on the outside. I just thought the key to this race was early on Dylan letting this horse relax off of the 7 when the 7 went out to the lead, and I think just had enough left to get the job done. Really never even hit her with the stick.
31.98 big price. Paul likes the source bet, and Encantar appreciating the surface switch 10.94, and look, a pick 6 carryover into Saturday.
After all that, it is funny on Talking Horses. We did say this has a chance to be a pick 6 carryover day. It didn't look like it, but it turned out to be.
I'm sure that nightcap really did help quite a bit. 2,200 in the late pick 5. Follow along. Congratulations if you had it. Pretty formful up until the last race. As that'll do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. 4 stakes on the card, and should be a spectacular day.
Should be a great day.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
Paul, thank you very much.
Always
Great job
fun.
as always, and thank you for joining us. As we mentioned, we'll be back tomorrow at 12:30. Be sure to check your local listings. We start things out on FS1 at 12:30. Hope you'll join us. Live coverage of the Peter Pan and 4 stakes on the card on Saturday. Good night, everyone.
Amazing Racer, Big Jackie, and Little Finch still the trailer. Now tightly packed here towards the front end as the leader, Bose Bella, with a nose advantage, now making a neck as Encantar tries to move in closer. From the outside, here's a move. Amazing Gracer is now with a rush, 3 wide, coming after the leader into the turn. Felixson is tightly at the rail. Soaring Spirit in 5th. Little Finch has made up a lot of ground from the back end of the field, and Little Finch is all in. Pelican Pride now gets the cue, is going to hold that position 3 wide. They get set to reach the top of the lane. In Kantar is now looming up to the outside of Bose Bella. Bose Bella battles on in Kantar, and Amazing Gracer. Pelican Pride is commencing a rally from the back with Soaring Spirit. The leader is in Kantar. Here comes Amazing Gracer in close pursuit. Soaring Spirit in between horses. Pelican Pride trying to straighten up and lift late. In Kantar battles on towards the inside. Here comes that late run from Soaring Spirit. In Kantar won it over Soaring Spirit. Then came Pelican Pride and Amazing Gracer.